beyond like the physical impact, it's also impacting children mentally. We're children who are coming to our learning sites, who are coming to our clinic, are telling our staff that they want to die and go to heaven because they hear that that's where there's food.
Gold is trading at $3,391.04 an ounce. The rand is at 17.52 to the dollar, 23.80 to the pound, 20.63 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $68.70 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays already on the Mayaquan North between Boyson's Road and Carr Street. Peak time delays there. Peak time delays are also piling up along the N3 North just as you approach the Kilulis interchange.
And in your sport, no space for World Cup winners in Springbok coach Rassie Erasmus Rugby Championship side. Banyana's Gabriela Salgado has successful surgery on a broken leg. And India 264 for 4 at stumps on day one with England. Concerns for India as Risbah Pant retired hurt.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers and thunder showers expected. Johannesburg starting at 6 degrees, peaking at 18. Pretoria 7 and 20. Vereeniging 5 and 17 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. In a crucial test for the government of national unity, it's finally passed a national budget that will allow unhindered spending for the rest of the financial year.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app. Some walks are just for exercise, others for leisure. But the 702 Walk the Talk is for something far greater. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes after 6 o'clock. Welcome one, welcome all. This is indeed 702 Breakfast. Are you in Carltonville, in Fochville, Krugersdorp, Kagiso, Azadville, Randfontein, Roodepoort, Western area? We are the station that aims to reach you wherever you are in the world. Have you seen what I've just done there? Mentioned all those areas in the West Rand. And by the way, I know all of them. In fact, I used to go to Carltonville a lot at around this time of the year because there's a place that sells, well, they're most known for their blankets, but they sell linen and other things. There would be buses of people coming from all over. You know the blankets of the weddings, the blankets of the mitimbis, of the misebenzis. It's almost time for the Edura sale. And if you were on the mailing list, you'd get the first crack at their sale at the end of July. So you have to go through past Azadville, past Randfontein, all on the way to Carltonville to get to Edura. And there'd be societies from the Eastern Cape, from Limpopo, from wherever, coming for the Edura sale. If you're on the West Rand, you know what I'm talking about. Good morning. I'm not alone. I'm with Amugelang Ramila on traffic. KG's on the desk. Muteo Kharipe is on the business. We've got producers Baphelile and Samtanda taking your calls. Cindy has everything you need to know in sport. Sifiso Zulu will give you the latest news updates.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 6 o'clock. So we always have a shout out every morning. And the idea is to kind of illustrate some of what we'll be discussing on the show today. So let's get started with that. Why don't we? Muteo Kharipe, Amoramila, over your long and illustrious career, what benefit or perk did you once take for granted that you thought would always be there? Do you no longer enjoy? And let me give you context. We know, of course, even before COVID, the financial situation in the country was very difficult. At the tail end of the Zuma years, there were many companies that were introducing cost-cutting measures. There were many Section 189s. Long before COVID, in fact, took place, that was just the final nail in the coffin. And so for the last few years, many businesses, many employers have been recovering from, I would say, you could even take it back to the financial crisis of 2008, right? But the boom years are long behind us. And so what once were easy perks to give away to employees, not quite the case any longer, right? So we can take it that far back if you want to. But say in the last, 17, 18 years, things just aren't what they used to be in terms of what companies can give employees, right? For any number of reasons in that period. So what perks did you once enjoy that you took for granted that are simply no longer there? Amo?
I remember there was on your birthday, you used to get a 5,000 Rand voucher from Macro. And you would just spend it out on whatever you want. And also there was like
liquor for your party, for your birthday party.
or meat or whatever, snacks or anything. And then there was also trips, holidays for the entire staff. I remember we once went to Sun City. The entire staff went there and it was amazing. That was before COVID. And then everything else changed afterwards.
Mateo?
I think elaborate staff parties. I haven't experienced that in a minute, and also bonuses. I think I took that for granted earlier in my career, but they don't come as thick as fast as they used to.
I first joined Carte Blanche in 2007, and I was told they used to go on trips to Mauritius. This is sort of like the year-end thing back in the days. You know, if you wanted to do a story in, New York. Ruda Landman, for example, had flown all the way to Russia to go interview Boris Yeltsin. Those kinds of things were quite commonplace. Whereas even if you got an exclusive interview with Vladimir Putin, you'd still have to explain to a lot of people as to why that kind of expense it would require would be justified. I mean, I'm sure they would take an interview with Vladimir Putin, don't get me wrong. But you know what I mean? Things that once would have been no-brainers were suddenly... What are you talking about?
You have to pitch for.
And now you're the new kid on the block and you're hearing about all these good times. We used to do this. We used to do that. We used to have this. We used to have the other. What are those perks that you once took for granted that you no longer enjoy? We'll explain coming up.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
All right, on our menu today, it's kind of the reason we're asking that shout out, isn't it? Firstly, we'll talk about the US cuts to funding the fight against HIV and tuberculosis. We know, of course, that announcement came in February, and since then, many facilities have closed their doors and are simply unable to help those in need. In the months since, there's been a lot of pushback by activists in Washington lobbying for some kind of sanity to prevail. And so now we've been told there is a reprieve, there's been a rethink, a little bit more money will be injected in the system. So we want to find out exactly who's affected, who's in, who is out, and what happens to all those facilities that have since closed their doors from the earlier announcement. And has there been a downplaying of the loss of this funding by the Department of Health? We'll have that conversation with the Director of Africa First Advisory, Jens Peterson. That's in this first hour of the show. Now, think about this. Are you somebody who is married? You have told yourself you have a watertight contract with your spouse in case the unthinkable happens, in case something goes wrong, right? Do you have a tight marriage contract protecting your assets from your spouse in case the marriage sours? You've got an anti-nuptial without accrual. So you're sorted, right? Even if they die, or even if you die, should you choose, they get nothing? It deal. No, but they agreed to it. It deal, right? Not so fast. There may soon be changes as South Africa looks to change marital regimes and asset protection. This is, of course, particularly for women who find themselves often at the short end or with the short end of the stick when things go wrong in these kinds of marriages. We'll speak to a family lawyer, but also the Department of Justice on what has prompted these changes and what they might mean for those contracts that until now you thought were airtight. And then, so much fun in the last hour of the show. We're going to be speaking to Dr. Rebecca Malupe is going to be joining us a little bit before 9 o'clock. She's been honored with yet another Lifetime Achievement Award. And I'm going to tell you what her real name is. Do you know Rebecca is not her actual name? Rebecca is a stage name she decided to use when she launched her career because she just felt like her actual name might not resonate that well with fans. We'll talk to her about that as well. All to come.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
Let's just reflect on the 6 o'clock bulletin you heard from Sfiso Zulu. I just want to take a moment and talk about this and really get your view. So one of the things we understand is former President Jacob Zuma has applied to the Constitutional Court to have President Ramaphosa's decision to put Police Minister Senzo Mchunu on special leave set aside. Just think about that, right? When I first heard that or saw that, I thought, what do you mean? Is Jacob Zuma playing that nuisance litigator once more? And then I thought, hang on. We heard yesterday in Parliament the President saying Section 91 of the Constitution outlines the compositions and functions of the cabinet, and that's the wide berth. That's his word. That's the wide berth he has to hire or fire or move ministers as he sees fit. And he says this is the provision that he used to make this decision. Jacob Zuma says, but hang on, that section of the Constitution doesn't say you can place any minister on special leave. What is special leave? Jacob Zuma wants to know. Because right now, we can't refer to Senzo Mchunu as the former Minister of Police. He still is. But we've also got, at least for a little while, Gwede Mantashe as the acting Minister of Police, with Professor Firoz Kashalia coming in as the new police minister. But the old one is still there, at least in name, right? He may not be involved in the functioning of the department or running of the department or any kind of oversight of that department. He is on special leave. But I can't refer to him as the former police minister because he's still getting the salary. I think he still lives in the house. I'm not quite sure what happened to his staff. When we spoke to Vincent Magwenya a little while ago, he wasn't quite sure what that would look like, right? But he still has his blue lights. All the perks, all the benefits. Do you see why we're asking that shout out? All the perks, all the benefits Senzo Mchunu still has. So Jacob Zuma says, this is ridiculous. Make a decision, man. You either fire this guy or leave him alone. But what is this special leave nonsense? Where in the Constitution does it say you can put a minister on special leave? As what? For the why? Do you think Jacob Zuma has a case? Huh? Do you think Obama looked at this and thought, Ozala, Kamla? But the president is arguing, hang on, I can't fire people on the basis of allegations. We've got this commission of inquiry set up. It should take 6 months. Could. It's possible. 6 months to get to the conclusion or the bottom of it. Will it take 6 months? Whose side are you on? Give us a call on 011 883 0702. You can take us. You can give us your WhatsApp voice notes on 072 702 1702.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702. Let's walk the talk.
Muteo Khodipa, you've got a question of your own?
Yeah, good morning, Bongani. We've just passed the midpoint of the year. My question this morning is that what's that small or big milestone that you've ticked off already this year? It could be a very, very small thing, from you paying off something to you going to school and finally graduating, whatever it is that you've achieved so far this year.
Look at you being serious.
We want to know that.
I
milestone.
spent money. Do
That's
you know what I
good.
got myself?
Uh-huh.
I extended my home some years and years and years ago.
Sure.
And for the last 13 years, I didn't have a bathtub in my bathroom. There's a bathtub for other people, but I didn't have a bathtub in my bathroom. I finally have a bathtub in my bathroom.
Did you get one of those luxury ones with the stands on?
No,
Fit
it's
for
a
a
simple
king.
one. It's a simple one,
Yeah.
but it's mine.
It's yours.
I'm a shower guy. I'll probably use it like once a year, but it's there.
That's a nice milestone.
Yes. Got myself a bathtub.
At the beginning of the year, my husband and I showed our kids the map. We were teaching them different provinces and what they are known for, the mother city, Northwest, and so forth. And we decided, no, man, let's actually travel to these provinces. So far, we've been to 3, and we're still counting. So that's my little milestone.
Nice. That's very, very nice. Yeah, that's what I want to know this morning. Your milestones for the year so far.
702.
Weather.
20 minutes after 6 o'clock, what conditions can you expect on this Thursday? Temperatures in Johannesburg, 6 and 18, Pretoria, 7 and 20, Vereeniging, 5 and 17. That's the same maximum in Cape Town, 17, 22 for Gqeberha and East London, 24 for Durban.
EWN Traffic.
All right, our first traffic report. Amo, your first look at the roads. What are you seeing?
Well, Bongani, we start off in Soweto this morning. Orlando West, an accident reported on Klipspruit Valley Road. It's right near Sofasonke Street. It's causing heavy delays already. Please try to avoid, if you can, about a 10-minute hold up there. While on the M1 North, traffic is already heavily backed up between Boyson's Road and the Crown Interchange. And there's more delays on the R24 West. This is heading towards Bedford View as you come out of Edenville Road. I'll have more updates for you, but if you see anything else, we're on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
702 delivers.
On the matters that matter to you.
Hi, this is Craig from Kempton Park. What an amazing experience, I must say, especially visiting, people behind the scenes. There's a lot of amazing people that we don't know about behind the scenes that's working very hard to serve you, the listener. Very, very impressed with everything that's going on. Fantastic studios, very professional setup, trendy, vibey. It epitomizes everything that this radio station does, and definitely it is the radio station for the people.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
So we can deliver more on what matters to you.
702 listens.
Let's walk the talk. From 24 to 27 July, Decorex Joburg returns to the Sandton Convention Center, now spanning 5 halls. Explore over 300 brands, shop exclusive show specials, and discover the latest in interiors, kitchens, bathrooms, and luxury finishes. Experience live interactive demos, expert-led talks, and the Handmade Africa Design Market. There's something for every style, space, and home. Book your tickets now at decorex.co.za or at the door.
Dear Journal, trying to be an adult day 3731. I'm really struggling to explain my parents to my therapist. Might send him to live with them so he can see for himself. What if he ends up in therapy too? Wait, what if they love him more than me?
Finally learning about mental health. Get covered at pineapple.co.za. It's convenient and like 19 Rand a day, so it's 100% the insurance for you. Underwritten by Old Mutual Alternative Risk Transfer Insurer Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP. Premiums are risk profile dependent.
Sunrail is upgrading your route. From 20 May 2025 to 31 January 2027, expect partial nighttime lane closures on the N3 between Geldenhuys and Baklu interchanges. Closures run from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. with at least one lane open in both directions at all times. Please plan your trips, slow down, and follow all signs and signals, and exercise caution when navigating affected areas. We apologize for the inconvenience and thank you for your patience. Sunrail remains committed to improving safety and the quality of our national roads. Sunrail is building roads that connect South Africa. Sunrail, an agency of the Department of Transport.
Some walks are just for exercise, others for leisure. But this walk is for something greater.
It's team building.
This July, you won't just take a step, you'll take a stand. You'll walk through history. You'll walk with it. On Sunday, 27 July, the 702 Walk the Talk, hosted by Freedom Park in the city of Tshwane, returns. It's a route that winds through the heart and soul of our capital city. From the sacred grounds of Freedom Park to the powerful steps of the Union buildings. Choose the 8 kilometer for those walking strong, the 6.7 kilometer in honor of Mandela Month, or the 4 kilometer for families and first-timers. Entries are 360 Rand for adults, 200 Rand for children under 12. Enter now on primemediaplus.com. 702 Walk the Talk, hosted by Freedom Park in the city of Tshwane, is where footsteps become footprints. 702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's walk the talk.
Morning, Bongani and the team. Car allowance and petrol card. Oh my God, I miss those.
We're talking about benefits you once took for granted. And over the course of the last 20 years, the economy has been in the doldrums. It hasn't been growing. Many employers employing cost-cutting measures. And so you'd rather keep the job than the perks, right? But once you took it for granted, and now it's no longer there.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa.
On 702, let's walk the talk.
25 after 6 things you need to know at this hour. There's a bill that is being, well, it's not quite before Congress, but there are certain US politicians in Congress trying the idea of imposing sanctions on specific African National Congress leaders. It has started in the House Foreign Affairs Committee. It's a long way, of course, before it gets approval or even adopted by the House, and already it's meeting some opposition. But the committee chair, Brian Mast, has cited the ANC's engagement with Hamas leaders and that case against Israel at the International Court of Justice. And he says this is evidence of strained US-South Africa relations. But as I say, there's already some pushback from the Democrats. But it's one of those things that has given many people pause for thought about our relations with Washington. Now, attention all parents in Gauteng. Gauteng Education MEC Matume Chilwane is set to launch the 2026 online admissions system, and it marks the beginning of applications for grade 1 and grade 8 placements for the year 2026. One of the questions I want to know, does this system work for you? Because there's no point in us telling you that, it's open and ready. Have you applied for a kid using the online system for grade 1 or grade 8, and you got absolute joy? Did you do it in time? Did you do everything you were required to do? And if you've had hassles, how would you like them to improve it? Right? Because a lot of people sometimes complain that the system isn't working, and yet often we get told by officials that they didn't do what they were supposed to do. Right? So don't point a finger if you haven't done everything you were supposed to do. But does this online application system work? And have you found joy in it? Amo is nodding vociferously. You'll tell us why you say that coming up. Today, the Durban High Court will convene a pre-trial hearing for the murder case involving the tragic deaths of South African rapper aka Forbes and his friend Tibelo Tibbs Mutswane. The accused face serious charges including murder, conspiracy to murder, attempted murder, the unlawful possession of firearms, and money laundering. Gosh, it's been 2 years, since AKA and his friend were shot fatally outside a Durban restaurant. We don't know her. The American singer and actress Jennifer Lopez turns 56 today, born on this day in 1969. Best known for chart toppers like Waiting for Tonight, If You Had My Love, Love Don't Cost a Thing. She's also, of course, an actress. You may have seen her in Made in Manhattan and The Wedding Planner. And it was the debut of this song by Survivor. Don't you just think of wrestling? Eye of the Tiger got to number 1 on this day in 1982, and it stayed there for 6 weeks. And it is, of course, courtesy of its appearance in the film Rocky III. It's a classic, isn't it?
702.
The newspapers.
The newspapers. So we're going to do things the other way around today. Swiso Zulu normally hunts for stories, and then I do what's on the front pages.
Yeah.
Thought I'd give you a break, right?
Yes.
So I have found a story that I want to tell. So you'll tell us what's on the front pages of the newspapers this morning.
Yeah.
The story is about a man who essentially was trying to dodge papgeld. It's in the Sowetan. This guy is a senior advocate, senior counsel, we are told, and of course knows the law. So he had an extramarital affair with a woman, and they had children together, 2 via IVF. He's already got children from his marriage, but this mistress of his and he had 2 extra children via IVF. And he's been looking after them and supporting them and taking care of them until she says she lost her job and asked for more money for maintenance. And he argued he wasn't going to do any such thing. Do you know what he did? He went to court and claimed that because they used IVF for her to conceive, he was merely a sperm donor. They had a gamete agreement. Because he's such a loving and an affectionate man, when she expressed to him she wanted kids, he told her he didn't want any more, but if she did, he could help her. That's all he was doing, helping her. And the court said, oh, clever. Senior counsel, where's the agreement? Where's the gamete agreement? I don't know.
Nowhere to be found.
Where is it? Angaz. And the court said, hey, when? Pay your pap geld. Pay your pap geld. It's in the Sowetan.
Yeah, front page of the Business Day this morning. Budget reform targets waste, and the Citizen is running with fly survey, sends billions overseas.
All right, those are the newspapers.
EWN Business.
Business update. Mateo, you're asking us about that milestone we've ticked off already this year. Mine is something as simple as a bathtub. What prompts the question?
Bongani, the Johannesburg Stock Exchange has reached 100,000 points. The 23rd of July 2025 was a historical day for the local boss, reaching record levels for its equities index. CEO Dr. Leila Fourie says it's a great psychological point for the JSE, showing it can bring returns during tough economic times. Now, the JSE closed trade at 100,180 points, up more than 0.5%, taking its weekly surge to over 3% and its bull run for the year to date to almost 20%. In the 1960s, the JSE All Share was just at around 100 points. It now has reached that 100,000 point mark. And as if it was written in the stars, the JSE darlings Naspers and Prosus surged yesterday, leading gains as the boss's biggest companies. Naspers, which deals in media, online shopping and tech firms, has the priciest share on the market at 5,900 Rand a share. Fourie says reaching this all-time record on the all shares not just a numerical milestone, it is a powerful reflection of the resilience, innovation and operational excellence of companies listed on the JSE.
Was the rand?
Rand at this hour, 17.53 against the dollar, 20 Rand 64 cents against the euro, and 23 Rand 80 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $3,383 an ounce, or platinum at $1,415. Brent crude at $68.86 a barrel. More business after 7.
Straight to the news desk we go. We meet Sfiso Zulu once more. Fly Safe and trade union solidarity. The fight's not over.
They are expected to reconvene deliberations tomorrow after what some insiders have described as minor progress in labour talks. Both parties met yesterday in a CCMA-led round of negotiations amid a strike over wages by a majority of the airline's pilots. The airline is offering a 5.7% salary increase, but the workers are demanding a 10% or 10.5% hike, as well as amendments to the working conditions. Solidarity said it would negotiate for a lesser salary increase, provided that Fly Safair makes significant changes to the working conditions in favour of the pilots. It's unclear if any concessions have been made since the CCMA stepped in, and despite efforts to find common ground, the strike continues for now. A man who died from being trampled by an elephant at the Godwana Game Reserve in Mossel Bay has been identified as the owner of the establishment. FC Conradi died earlier this week while doing his usual rounds. Police have opened an inquest docket and an investigation into the incident is underway. Morgan van Rieder has more.
Gondwana Game Reserve CEO FC Conradi has been described as a visionary leader and a passionate conservationist. Circumstances around the incident, which occurred around 8 a.m, has not been made public. The reserve says emergency medical services responded immediately, but Conradi was declared dead at the scene. The reserve and family have asked for privacy and space during this time. They've also urged the public to refrain from speculation as the investigation continues. Morgan van der Rede, Eyewitness News.
The families of the last group of junior footballers who were stranded in Europe are counting down the hours to see their children in Cape Town. The last group will touch down on home soil today after they were stranded for a week. following their return tickets not being booked. But South Africans rallied to bring them home with donations to feed and house them while abroad. Kaylin Pretoria says the story.
With the last group of teen footballers arriving home in just a few hours, some parents are gearing up to take legal action against BT Football Academy. One of the parents, speaking on condition of anonymity, says Academy owner Brandon Timmy reached out to him asking for 29,000 rand to help get the kids back.
I'm just waiting for the other kids to come back. Then when they're done coming back, then I'm going to the police station.
He added that on the day the team left Cape Town, Timmy wouldn't allow parents to see the plane tickets. The emotional father also expressed his frustration about online comments directed at them.
What makes me cross is people on social media saying parents, what did they do? It pains me every day. We did a lot for our kids, guys. They must know that parents did a lot.
It's still unclear whether the owner of BT Football Academy will be meeting with parents to explain why their children and the coaches ended up stranded in Portugal. Kaylin Pretorius, Eyewitness News.
And at least 10 forestry and rescue workers have been killed while battling wildfires in Turkey. Authorities say the teams were trapped inside the blaze following a change in the direction of the wind. 5 forestry workers and 5 volunteers lost their lives and 14 forest workers were taken to hospital. The blaze in the northwest of the country started on Tuesday and quickly spread towards nearby areas. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers expected today. The temperatures are at lows of 5 and 7 degrees, peaking at highs between 17 and 18 degrees.
And in the traffic heading towards Linwood, there's a major accident on the N1 South after the Proof Plus interchange. It is causing heavy delays. Please be on the lookout there. And in Soweto, Orlando West, another accident reported on Klipspruit Valley Road. It's causing delays as you approach Sofasonke Street.
The top story this hour, Fly-Safair and Trade Union Solidarity will reconvene deliberations tomorrow after what some insiders have described as minor progress in labour talks.
Walk for something greater in the 702 Walk the Talk, hosted by Freedom Park in the city of Tshwane. Get your tickets now on primemediaplus.com.
Celebrate the horse racing season of champions with Hollywood bets and saddle up for sensational success. Stand a chance to win a spectacular share of over 2 million rand in prizes, including a brand new Amoda C5 or C7. All you have to do is bet 50 rand or more on any horse racing event for a shot at your crowning moment. Take the reins and get ready to gallop to grand rewards. Bet now.
T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Unfold extraordinary with the new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 512 gig. Get it on a 6 gig red core plan from 1749 per month over 36 months. Experience cinematic viewing, seamless multitasking, and next level productivity. Pre-order yours today from Vodacom, Mzansi's winning 5G network. Available in-store and online. T's and C's apply. Further together, Vodacom.
Year in, year out, we're fixing tires faster than a Formula One pit crew. My team is on top of things like tire whisperers. If an unforeseen accident were to happen in my workshop, at least I've got My Way business insurance to keep the wheels turning.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, guys. For me, it would be a house in Cape Town, in one of those parliamentary villages. Now I have a daughter that's in Cape Town, studying there. Unfortunately, that pack is gone. 2 family trips paid for to Cape Town on an annual basis. I miss those big time.
Morning, Bongani. We used to get free lunches every 2 weeks of the month, and we also used to get bonuses. But yeah, COVID happened and we're not getting them anymore.
Morning, Bongani. It's Rato in Pretoria. I miss those days when we used to have a scheme called Management Car Scheme. I remember I was the first time employee, my first day of working. They had a program where you can just go into the garage and say, I want this car. And then our employer will arrange everything. Then the next thing you pick it up and they take money from your pay slip or from your salary. Oh, those were the days.
We're talking about perks you once took for granted that you no longer enjoy, because we know what the economy has been like these last 20 years and the cost-cutting measures. Many of us, of course, especially those who work in the media, are simply grateful to have jobs in the first instance, right? But many people have since lost perks that were once standard. I'm just a little confused by the voice note that says he stayed at a parliamentary village. I get that your daughter was studying in Cape Town, but why were you staying in the parliamentary village? Were you an MP? Calling us anonymously?
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Bongani.
Shall we talk Boka?
Yes, because Coach Rassie Rasmus named a very strong 37-man squad for the upcoming tests of the Rugby Championship. Just the opening two. This is the 30-man. You know, Rassie always changes stuff around.
Yeah.
So this is not the set 37 for the Rugby Championship.
Isn't it lovely to have this kind of depth in our senior men's side?
This is exactly it. So 24 of the players out of the 37 are World Cup winners. 5 of them only made their debut now against Italy and Georgia, 5 of those players. But the talking point is the number of players that have been sent back to their franchises to get some more game time in the Currie Cup. Now, if I say to you names like Faf de Klerk, Makazolo Mapimpi, Lucanio Ams, Salman Murat, Irvan Roos, and then you've got the newcomers Vincent Shtuka and Netling Fashier, you kind of go, sorry, we're going up against Australia without those guys. And
those guys are not in.
Those guys are not in. Those guys have been sent back to their franchises. Right?
Yay.
Then you kind of go, what is Rassie up to? So part of me thinks we've got incredible depth in the side.
Yeah.
But also part of me thinks he's building towards
the next
World
one.
Cup. And so Australian rugby is not the best at the moment. They're
so he can
actually in a
afford to
massive
experiment
slump.
a little.
I think he's going to play the youngsters against Australia.
So I saw a TikTok that fascinated me. This guy lines up our 4 World Cup trophies. I think New Zealand is next on the list with 3.
Yes.
And says, do you know how long you're going to have to live before you see anybody overtake us, not just equal us?
Yeah.
So in other words, to get to 5, he's arguing, no one's going to get to 5 outside of the box for at least maybe another 15, 20 years, was his argument.
We can't really say that because nobody expected the Box to win the 2019
Back-to-back.
World Cup, right? Because when Rassie came in for the 2018, halfway through the year, right? So it was about a year to the World Cup when Rassie came in, and I stand to be corrected on that. I'm going off the top of my head. And the Box at that stage going into the 2019 World Cup were number 8 in the world.
And that's precisely the point.
So in agreement, but also it would take a minimum of 8 years, which is so
exactly.
fascinating.
And that's exactly the point, that it's going to be a long time. That's New Zealand at best, right? If they were to win
they'd have
the
to
next
win,
2 back to back, and there's no indication that they will.
Yeah.
Right? Because, as you say, things can change that quickly
Yeah.
for any of the sides.
Yeah.
If England gets suddenly a good coach, they could win back to
Yeah.
back and they'd still not catch up
Yeah.
or at least overtake. And so they were talking about for anybody, and that gives you, for me, a sense of how incredible this Bok team has been under Rassie.
Yeah,
Rasmus.
I think we really don't value. I mean, we speak about the Springboks, we speak about Coach Rassie, etc. But I really, you know, like when you say we're living in the time of a legend.
Yeah.
Like I don't think we act. I think we
perk.
done.
It's
Like
a perk
Rassie
one day we will no
Rasmus
longer have.
is a national treasure. We should put him on
he
a
is.
banknote.
Yeah. On buses everywhere.
Hey?
On buses
Should
everywhere.
rename the Rand.
The Rassie.
The book to the book or something. I don't know. But it's a phenomenal achievement. Banyana midfielder Gabriela Salgado had surgery on her broken leg. She's out for at least a year. Salgado's leg was broken in the semi-final loss to Nigeria at WAFCON. Banyana plays Ghana tomorrow for 3rd place. Transfer news, Liverpool completing the signing of Hugo Ekitike from Eintracht Frankfurt. Striker's deal believed to be worth £79 million. The Reds have, amongst other players, already signed this season midfielder Florian Wirtz and defenders Milos Kerkez and Jeremy Frimpong. In a warm-up yesterday, Arsenal beating AC Milan 1-0 in Singapore, Bukayo Saka with the goal. 15-year-old Max Dalman made his debut. Gunners boss Mikel Arteta wasn't surprised by the youngster's talent.
With all the kids, I think they are able to play at that level with 15 years old, in my opinion, because of the environment and the culture that is within the team. And when somebody makes you feel so comfortable, so confident, straight away you can go and do it. At least it gives you the best chance. Then you have to have the qualities that these kids have to actually deliver against an opposition like this.
In Test cricket, India 264 for 4 after being sent into bat by England on day one of the fourth Test. Pant was forced to retire hurt on 37. He was struck on the foot with the ball. Sudrasan top scored with 61. And at the Tour de France, Jonathan Milan won stage 17, his second stage win at this year's race. No change in the top 10 of the general classification, so Pogacar still wears the yellow jersey with a lead of 4 minutes and 15 seconds. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for plumbers, electricians and other tradesmen. Pumlani.
Switching to Outsurance was one of the best decisions that we've ever made. We needed business cover over 15 million. Outsurance came forth for us. At Kani, we sleep better at night, knowing that you always get something out of Outsurance.
Switch to Business Outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium.
Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online.
Sell your car now and get paid instantly. There's no waiting when it comes to We Buy Cars. Simply complete the online form on webuycars.co.za to get started. Looking for your next ride? Explore thousands of vehicles with finance and all the extras available online and in-store. So whether buying or selling, We Buy Cars has what you need.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz
On 702.
Hello, Uncle Boggs. My name is Lesedi. I'm 13 years old and I go to Montrose Primary School. And I'm so excited to play the Whiz Quiz.
We can't wait to play with you, Lesedi. 13 is a lucky number, hey? 13 is a lucky number.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
This Eyewitness News Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. It's 14 to 7. There's a crash in Orlando West. Amo, what's going on?
Yes, Bongani, right on Klipspruit Valley Road. It's near Sofasonke Street, so it's causing heavy delays. Please be on the lookout there and try to avoid. Also, be patient if you're already stuck along this route. If you are traveling on the M2 West, we've got another accident scene. It happened just before the Crown turnoff, causing delays from Heidelberg Road. About a 20-minute hold up there. Please approach with care. I'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Like the feeling of hearing good news you didn't expect, the Outsurance pointsmen are here to ease traffic congestion and make your day a little brighter because your time is precious. Outsurance pointsmen getting you there quickly and safely since 2005. Outsurance really means it when they say you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702. Show them some love online using hashtag pointsmanlove. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
This July, you won't just take a step, you'll take a stand. The 702 Walk the Talk is hosted by Freedom Park in the city of Tshwane. Get your tickets today on primemediaplus.com.
This year, the Private Security Industry Regulatory Authority, also known as PSIRA, is proud to be partnered with 702 Walk the Talk. So look out for the PSIRA activation at the finish point if you want to chat about how they contribute to safer communities. PSIRA is also actively vetting all contracted private security companies involved in the walk, so you get to the finish line safely and confidently. PSIRA, your partner in security and safety at 702 Walk the Talk. Safer homes, safer communities, safer businesses.
Gabelo's the go-to guy for renovations. His bakkie is full of tools, ready to build dreams. But one day, a reckless driver takes him out. Now, his bakkie standing still. No wheels, no money, Kabza. Oh. But with budget, he'd be back on site faster than you can say DIY. Don't let expensive days stop your hustle. Visit budgetinsurance.co.za for a business insurance quote today. Budget is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
Are you looking for deals you can't ignore? Get to Dis-Chem and Dis-Chem Baby City for big baby price cuts this winter. Save 70 Rand on Bepanthen 100-gram nappy care ointment, now only 239 Rand 99. Buy Huggies Gold Nappies Value Pack, sizes 1 to 5 for just 179 Rand 99 per pack. and get 30% off all Johnson's baby products. Don't miss out on these big baby price cuts and more. Offers end 17 August. Only at Dis-Chem and Dis-Chem Baby City.
Coming up in the next hour, What's the Question? It's brought to you by Outsurance. Up to 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. So what you do is you send us an answer based on something you heard in the show that piqued your interest, and for that you win 1,000 Rand. You WhatsApp us your name and the answer. You can do so now to 072 702 1702. And then a little later, someone else will ask a question to get your answer to win 2,000 Rand. Now, you always stand a better chance of being selected if you have SMS'd out to Outsurance and got yourself a quote. So SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Give away some money, shall we? You have to be 10 to 13 to play the Whiz Quiz. The grand prize is 10,000 Rand, 100 bucks for each correct answer. Otherwise, Lisedi is our contestant today, 13 years old, wants to be a professional cricketer later in life. Lisedi, do you bowl or bat, or do you want to just keep wiki?
I'm a bowler, sir.
You're a bowler. I'm going to guess KG Rabada is your favorite, hey?
Yes.
Yes, of course. All right, let's see if you can bowl some bouncers in the Whiz Quiz. Are you ready to play?
Yes, I am.
There we go. KG, start the clock. Spell the word replace.
REPLACE.
Correct. What is 39 minus 19?
20.
Correct. Which spring month has a name that begins with an O?
October.
Correct. In fairy tales, what animal did Little Red Riding Hood meet?
A wolf.
Correct. In which hemisphere is the region known as the Arctic?
The Northern Hemisphere.
Correct. What sport has tournaments called the US PGA, US Masters, and US Open?
Golf.
Correct. True or false? A scorpion has more legs than a dragonfly.
True.
Correct. Does the word concede mean deny or admit?
Admit.
Correct. Which small fish swims upright and holds on to seaweed with its tail?
Skip.
A seahorse. Oh, and I can't complete the last question. You had a fantastic run there, Lisedi. Oh my gosh. I thought another 10,000 was about to go. You did really, really well, mate. You walk away with 8 correct answers. 800 Rand is what you win. That's a fantastic effort. The kids are just getting snappier now. They're getting snappier now. You must be age 10 to 13 to play. Send us a WhatsApp voice note to 072 702 1702. Tell us your name and age and why you want to play the Whiz Quiz.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Current events, developing stories,
Tough questions.
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
7 to 7. So, here's the deal. In are pregnant or breastfeeding mothers, and out in the cold are teen girls, young women in Africa, trans people, sex workers, injecting drug users, gay and bisexual men, or really anyone who could potentially contract HIV sexually. For 2 decades, PEPFAR has been supported by both Democrats and Republicans in the US, and this crucial funding to Africa has saved over 25 million lives, many of them in this country. Until without warning this February, the Trump administration announced cutbacks that led to the closure of many facilities that had been part of the global HIV and TB program. But through some pushback by activists, it seems there's been some kind of reprieve. Well, sort of. We are joined today by Jens Petersen, who's the director of the Africa First Advisory, to help us understand all of this. Jens, welcome to our program. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you. Good morning, Bongani. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I hope you are too. So let's start with the basic stuff, right? Why has PEPFAR been so crucial in the fight against HIV and TB in South Africa?
Well, it's been effective and crucial against HIV and TB anywhere in the world. But remember, in South Africa, we've got the largest proportion of the global HIV epidemic. We are the country most affected with it. So its impact has been tremendous here. Historically, PEPFAR, as it was established by President Bush, is the largest sort of single not single disease, because it covers more than one disease, HIV and TB, but the single most effective in a sort of narrow scope public health program. It's provided tremendous amounts of funding, support across the board to treatment of HIV, TB, including research. Some of the most groundbreaking and developmental research that we've seen, including in South Africa, has been supported and funded by PEPFAR. So it's provided treatment, it's provided innovation, novel ways, and in way we can address and support patients living with HIV and TB.
And then came February.
Then came February, where PEPFAR, as many other issues and some of the things that affect South Africa as well, has been subject to the sort of vicissitudes of President Trump's decision-making and what is essentially domestic dynamics within the U.S. Political spheres. PEPFAR, along with others, other U.S. development program, USAID, for example, also USAID, which has provided support to HIV and TB and other global health program across the world, have all been cut. And PEPFAR is part of a much larger cut to U.S. development assistance that has been instigated by President Trump.
All right, so now there's been this limited PEPFAR waiver. What does that mean?
So it means that Congress was asked to approve a cut by President Trump to a lot of their various programs, including a large proportion of USAID funding. A small amount of this, $400 million, including in this cut, was going to PEPFAR. And Congress, by and large, we mustn't forget, approved the large cut of almost $9 billion to USAID and other programs. However, pushed back and maintained $400 million envelope for PEPFAR. What it means is more uncertainty. The decision makings and in the US political process, legislative process, is a little bit opaque at the moment, to say the least. What it means in practice and programmatic is anyone's guess, really, Bongani. We see that one decision is made one day at executive level that is adjusted or pushed back at the legislative level in the US without really knowing what the programmatic, what the detailed consequences of these decisions going either direction are.
So, I mean, we've seen how these cuts have affected people who relied on this aid the most. I'm thinking vulnerable groups. It could be sex workers. It could even be adolescents, people in rural communities. We've even seen some clinics close, and the testing numbers now, we are told, are dropping. This will not reverse that, will it?
It's very unlikely. It's a small amount in the grander scheme. It's very commendable, obviously, that there is congressional pushback towards the most dramatic cuts of PEPFAR. But by and large, the significant cut in US funding and the consequences that you are mentioning, which we are seeing already in South Africa and across the continent and elsewhere, this maintaining of $400 million is not going to reverse that in the grander scheme of things, no.
There are suggestions that the Department of Health here in South Africa has maybe been downplaying the impact of the funding withdrawal. Are we filling the gap? Can we?
I think realistically, Bongani, the gap is so big that we cannot expect one actor, be that government or an external partner, to fill it or to fill it right away. And I think that's part of the problem, and it's part of the distrust that we see between civil society, HIV patient groups, clinicians, and public health professionals, and the Department of Health on the other side, is that it's sort of comparing pears and apples. When the government says that they've filled the gap, more patients are on treatments, we see data actually indicating the contrary. So there is a big trust deficit. And if we are to fill this gap, we must acknowledge that it has to be done by first bridging this trust deficit.
Are there things we can do that, shall we call it, out of the box thinking? I mean, I'm, for example, hearing about pregnant women no longer getting pre-exposure prophylaxis because we no longer have counselors in some facilities. Does that mean, for example, if we had new protocols around how that is dispensed, maybe people might still get help?
I think we have to be creative. We've seen examples where people have been able to collect much longer durations of their treatment. So instead of perhaps 6 months, they can collect 12 months worth of treatment. I think we have to be creative in seeing what new tools are available. There are some new tools for PrEP coming out, which is not going to solve the problem, but which can address some of the challenges, and we have to be willing to take some risk and try some new tools and some new methods. And if we're not willing to do that, I don't think that we will see a reversal in the trends that you mentioned already, with some of the numbers dropping in terms of people being put on treatment, etc.
Gosh, it's a tough world out there. Jen Peterson, appreciate your time. Jens Peterson is the director of the Africa First Advisory, talking about the impact of funding from the US and the impact on our healthcare.
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
The big interview focuses on something that I think many of us should stop to think about. Are we about to see the end of out-of-community marriage contracts? And what might that mean for your wealth preservation? That's all to come after this Eyewitness News at 7 o'clock.
This is EWN.
The national budget is finally approved and MPs band together in support of a parliamentary inquiry into police corruption. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The GNU has passed the ultimate tests of their collaboration by getting a national budget approved in the National Assembly. It comes after a year of ups and downs and 2 false starts on tabling the budget. But the delays mean the medium-term budget policy statement is creeping even closer, and coalition partners will want to avoid a repeat of what happened earlier in the year. The DA's Mark Burke says that as the deadline looms, the party has to weigh up whether the concessions it's had to make so far have been worth it.
I think we keep trying to build towards an economy that's built on an efficient government that creates jobs and is able to deliver growth. And it is only because the DA is in this government that the market still thinks as this government as being fiscally responsible.
He says with only 6 ministers in government, the impact the DA can have in the government is limited, but is trying to steer its coalition partners to what it believes are more sensible economic policies.
Unless we have some market-friendly policies implemented, we will see what we see now, which is 0.1% economic growth. And by the way, there's an open question as to whether if we didn't have this two-pot system where people were drawing down on their futures to pay for their present, whether we wouldn't now in fact be in a recession.
Political parties want KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi to expose all those implicated in alleged police corruption once Parliament's investigation starts. Last night, the National Assembly considered the reports of the Joint Committees of Police and Justice and Constitutional Development, with parties unanimously supporting its recommendation to establish an ad hoc committee to probe the claims. MK Party MP Sibonelo Nomvalo says Mkhwanazi must be invited to the National Assembly to give evidence.
Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi must appear before the ad hoc committee in Parliament and expose all the police officers, prosecutors, judges, members of Parliament, and all officials in the Department of Police who are in cahoots with criminals.
There are calls for Schedule 6 offenders to be denied bail entirely after revelations that the alleged killer of a senior municipal auditor was out on bail for a different murder case. Ekurhuleni senior forensic auditor Mpho Mafule was killed last month while returning home from a work-related meeting. The accused, Thabani Ntshali, made his first appearance in the Kempton Park Magistrates Court yesterday, and it was revealed during proceedings that Ntshali had been released on bail for a previous murder case allegedly committed in September last year. Alfara Mushwana reports.
NPA spokesperson P. Ndim Jonondwane says the state will oppose bail for Thabani Ntshali in his latest murder case, as he's already set to stand trial for a separate murder charge.
It is for us as a prosecution to paint the picture in court that the accused has a propensity of committing violent crimes.
EFF Gauteng chairperson Nkululeko Dunga says bail regulations must be amended to stop Schedule 6 offenders from repeating the crime.
In most cases, they become repetitive in nature in terms of their actions. Majority of the rapists who have been charged, you have found that they've either been out on bail and been out on warnings.
Nchali is scheduled to appear in court on the 15th of August for the alleged murder of Ekurhuleni auditor Mpoma Fole, with this other murder case also set to proceed during the same week. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News in Kempton Park.
And the White House has pushed back against reports that U.S. President Donald Trump is among hundreds of names that appear in Justice Department documents relating to the late convicted pedophile financier Jeffrey Epstein. The White House says the claims were nothing more than a continuation of the fake news stories concocted by the Democrats and liberal media. It comes as a U.S. judge and Justice Department's bid to unseal the court files on Epstein, and the Trump administration has been under mounting pressure to disclose more information about the well-connected sex offender. Trump had promised to release such files while campaigning last year, and Democrats on a House subcommittee yesterday forced a vote to subpoena the Justice Department for the documents regarding Jeffrey Epstein. Gold is trading at $3,391.04 an ounce. The rand is at 17.52 to the dollar, 23.80 to the pound, 20.63 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $68.70 a barrel.
Traffic is heavily backed up on the M1 North between Boyson's Road and Car Street. There's also queuing traffic along the M2 West towards the Crown turn-off due to an accident reported right near the Village Main area, causing delays coming out of Wemmerpan Road.
And in your sports, Springbok coach Rassie Erasmus tests his squad depth, leaving out key players for the upcoming series with Australia. India 264 for forward stumps on day one with England. Concerns for India as Resba Pant retired hurt. And Liverpool complete the signing of Ekiteke, taking their transfer spending total this summer to £295 million.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers and thunder showers expected. Johannesburg is at a low of 6 degrees, peaking at 18. Pretoria 7 and 20 for the Vereeniging, 5 and 17 degrees. The top story in Eyewitness News this hour. The GNU has passed the ultimate test for their collaboration by getting a national budget approved in the National Assembly.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app. Entries to the 702 Walk the Talk are open. Go to primemediaplus.com to get your tickets today.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 after 7, you may remember, of course, we spoke to Dr. Musi Maimane yesterday about the appropriations bill vote. And it really seemed like a fait accompli. And I said yesterday, good luck to the party that would be responsible for essentially a government shutdown because, of course, things would have ground to a halt in many respects. So that has gone through. But what's also emerged since all of that is the former president, Jacob Zuma, who wants the Constitutional Court to set aside President Cyril Ramaphosa's decision to place Police Minister Senzo Mchunu on special leave. Now, perhaps at a cursory glance, you could be tempted to think, there we go, there's the former president being a nuisance litigator once more. But does he have a point? Yesterday, the president said, well, hang on, Section 91 of the Constitution gives him a wide berth, that was his phrase, to do as he wishes with members of cabinet, move them to different posts, thank them for their services and relieve them of their duties, hire new ones, and so forth. And of course, he absolutely does have that right. But Jacob Zuma wants to know, where in Section 91 do you get to put ministers on special leave? Because even as you heard me refer to Senzo Mchunu, he still is the police minister, but on special leave. So now we have the potential scenario of having two police ministers, de jure and de facto. You see what I mean? Does Jacob Zuma have a point? President Ramaphosa says, well, I hear you, but I can't dismiss people on the basis of mere allegations. So what to do? Who do you think is going to win this one?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
We told you just a couple of weeks ago that the face of the sexual predator isn't always the man in a trench coat or the guy in the ice cream van handing out sweets to strangers. The Johannesburg High Court today will be ruling on the case of Amber Lee Hughes, a former preschool teacher accused of raping and murdering her stepdaughter. The 4-year-old was reportedly left in her care the day her life was claimed in 2013. The small child was discovered floating in the bathtub of the apartment that this woman and the father's child shared. It's an absolutely horrific story. Now, if you're a parent and your child is invited to participate in an event, especially one that involves travel, they're going to an overseas tournament, for example, what due diligence do you make or do to check the destination and all the necessary traveling arrangements? Have you heard of this group of young footballers who were stranded with their coach in Europe after their football trip turned into a nightmare? Well, some of them are finally coming back today. They're called the BT Football Academy. They sent 35 teenagers aged 13 to 18, along with 4 coaches, to participate in a tournament in Spain. The parents paid 50,000 Rand each for a 9-day trip, which included the tournament and, of course, a chance for kids to get some kind of skills development. And then things went wrong because these kids had to travel to Portugal by bus, and 25 children and three coaches found themselves stuck in Lisbon. Then the parents had to pay an additional 15,000 Rand to secure return flights for their kids. The academy apparently failed to book return flights, and that left the group stranded. They say that it was because of visa processing and other disruptions. The coaches say they've been doing their best to keep the spirits of these kids high, going so far as covering food and expenses out of their own pockets. It's an extraordinary story. And in fact, I want you to listen to Brandon Timmy, the founder of BT Football Academy, saying, yep, it was entirely his fault. He was speaking to our colleague at 947, Robert Marawa, about what happened. Have a listen to that conversation.
So look, obviously from that point of view, we've tried to assist as best possible. Also with us in our own capacity as an organization, financially, we've also been very much straining everything that we could to keep the players there and still try to get them. And even when we went out to the parents and asked, listen here, can you guys come and maybe help us with additional costs towards the airfare? So it was funded by the parents of the players.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Robert Marawa also spoke to the BT Football Academy coach, Jesse James Julius, who didn't quite agree with what the founder of the academy had to say.
What makes matters worse is he takes interviews live on the radio and he continues to lie to save his reputation. He doesn't come out to speak to the parents, which is in distress at the moment, which is crying because their kids are not home. The kids are not in school. The kids is not in their care. What I can say is that the coaches that are with me, they've been phenomenal in everything, making sure that the kids are well taken care of, together with the parents, making sure that these kids are fed, making sure that these kids are also kept in good spirits while they are in distress. Because remember, we're traveling with minors. What further angers me is that the same man owes me a lot of money, close to 50,000 Rand, that I spent out of my own pocket on this tour.
That's what the coach had to say. And it just made me think, as a parent, you're asked to fork out a chunk of money, but how much do you get involved in terms of where are they going, with whom are they going, how are they going there, when are they going there, who's going to be in charge? Do you check out all those T's and C's? And finally, AXA, the airport's company, South Africa, has released this statement. They are noting media coverage concerning a security incident involving a passenger who departed from OR Tambo International and was later found, listen to this, in possession of 2 training hand grenades upon arrival at Bole International Airport in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. Access says they were notified of this incident by Ethiopian Airlines, and in line with international aviation protocols, after the items were detected during reverse baggage screening upon arrival. So we couldn't pick it up at OR Tambo, but in Ethiopia they did. A passenger traveling with 2 training hand grenades. What if they'd been the real thing? How does such a slip occur?
702. Up next,
The big interview.
EWN.
The quarter after 7, this Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. There's a lot of heavy traffic in the capital. Amo?
That's correct, Bongani. Along the N1 South, an earlier accident is causing those queues coming out of the Proof Plus interchange towards Linwood Road. If you are traveling on the N4 West towards Tamboti, the Proof Plus interchange, do expect some delays coming out of Tamboti Avenue. And if you are leaving Mountain View at this particular moment, delays on the R80 East approaching Eskiampahlele exit due to faulty traffic lights. I'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Looking for some feel-good news? Jermaine, a 43-year-old man, feels like a winner because he switched to Outsurance and now saves a mind-blowing 360 Rand a month on insurance for his 2021 Mazda 3 1.5 Dynamic. Get a quote today and see how much Outsurance could save you on your car insurance. Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za. You always get something out. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
Walk for something greater in the 702 Walk the Talk, hosted by Freedom Park in the city of Tshwane. Get your tickets now on primemediaplus.com.
From 24 July to 27 July, Decorex Joburg returns to the Sandton Convention Centre, now spanning 5 halls. Explore over 300 brands, shop exclusive show specials, and discover the latest in interiors, kitchens, bathrooms, and luxury finishes. Experience live interactive demos, expert LED talks, and Handmade Africa Design Market. There's something for every style, space, and home. Book your tickets now at decorex.co.za or buy at the door.
Heads up, Gauteng motorists. Sunral is implementing nighttime roadworks on the N3 between Geldernes and Baklu from May 20th, 2025 to January 31st, 2027. Expect partial lane closures from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. One lane will stay open in each direction. Please plan your trips, slow down and follow all signs and signals, and exercise caution when navigating affected areas. Sunral remains committed to improving safety and the quality of our national roads. Sunral, an agency of the Department of Transport.
Aquele.
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 Aquela.
Aquele.
Aquili.
Aquele.
No matter how you say it, one thing's for sure. Aquele is South Africa's most loved water brand, refreshing you with pure natural spring water and delicious flavored sparkling drinks. From every sip to every smile, thank you Mzansi for making Aquele a part of your everyday moments. Aquele, spreading joy to South Africa naturally.
702 and Corporates That Care with Hirsch's are talking about Hirsch's involvement in the Claire Ellis Brown Preschool.
So the Claire Ellis Brown School is just the most beautiful little school. This wonderful teacher came through called Sandra McLaren. She said to me something which I don't know if I should have done, but I did, was come through and visit the school. And the school had a beautiful garden, and growing up in a flat, you didn't have a garden. These little kids that live in the area now have somewhere to go and play, which just seems so special. So I thought, how can we get involved with that? And one of the things I found out was they're looking at their books. Their rates were like through the roof, like 6,000 Rand a month in rates, which was just crazy. So after finding people to speak to at the city council and irritating them for months and months, we got the rate reduced to 100 Rand a year and backdated 10 years.
Wow.
And I thought, geez, we can make it a little bit of a difference here, which was awesome. Then we started fixing up the school and painting and putting new kitchens and finding food for the kids. And we've been doing that for over 20 years.
Hirsch's, proud to help grow bright futures, one child at a time. Learn more at hirsches.co.za. 702. Let's walk the talk.
702.
The big interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
19 after 7. Let me paint you a scenario. Say you had a promising career and then COVID hit and you lost your cushy income and all its benefits. For the last few years, you've been solely reliant on your spouse for support. but you're married out of community of property without accrual. If they died or decided to divorce you, you would be left with nothing. For many years of your non-financial contributions to the marriage would not count. You signed the prenup deal, you deal. Well, maybe not. A groundbreaking new bill is on the table, the General Laws Family Matters Amendment Bill, and it could allow courts to override anti-nuptial contracts to ensure a fairer split of assets after divorce or death. For couples married out of community of property without accrual, it could be life-changing. Minister Mamoloko Kubai says it's about justice and closing gaps that have long left women in particular out in the cold. They're also thinking about the formal recognition of Muslim and customary marriages, which will be huge steps in modernizing our family law. So whether you're married, about to tie the knot, or just love a good legal shake-up, this one might be for you. Let's start with Alison Buerta, who is, of course, the State Law Advisor in Legislative Development and Implementation Unit at the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. Alison, thank you so much for your time. What motivated the department to bring this bill forward, and how urgent is its implementation?
Good morning, Bongani, and good morning to you and your listeners, and thank you so much for this platform and this opportunity to talk about the General Family Laws Amendment Bill. For context, the bill arises out of two judgments which the Constitutional Court handed down in 2023. The first is, and the earliest, is the Centre for Child Law versus TS and Others case, which was handed down in 2023, and then later came EB versus ER and KG versus Minister of Home Affairs and Others. In terms of the orders of the Constitutional Court, both of these cases allowed 24 months for Parliament to bring about these changes in the legislation. And the changes in the legislation are to the Divorce Act, the Matrimonial Property Act, and the Mediation in Certain Divorce Matters Act. And because of that 24-month period, which will expire this year, the changes are urgent and will be immediate.
All right.
And immediately introduced.
Alison, I'm going to get you to get to the nub of it in layman's speak, if you will. What do they actually mean? What's being proposed? What's going to change?
So the Divorce Act is going to change, and so will the MPA change. And the purpose of those amendments is to expand the ambit or the application of the redistribution remedy. The redistribution remedy allows for the court to exercise discretion and award certain assets of one of the spouses to the other spouse on application. And that discretion can be exercised in terms of what's set out in the Divorce Act. And the Divorce Act provides that the court can distribute this in terms of Section 7, subsection 4, if the court is satisfied that it's just and equitable, if that spouse contributed directly or indirectly to the maintenance or increase of the estate of the other party during the subsistence of the marriage, either by rendering services or saving expenses which would otherwise have been incurred or in any other manner.
Does that mean it not so much nullifies, but it limits what you can or can't do with your spouse upon either the dissolution of the marriage or death, and you can't hide behind an anti-nuptial contract?
So what it does is that it creates a remedy where a remedy didn't exist before for certain categories of marriages. This remedy existed for marriages which were entered into before the Matrimonial Property Act. So before anti-nuptial contracts existed.
This was 1984, right?
Yes, this is 1984. So now what it does is it applies to marriages post-84. So now marriages which may be out of community of property without accrual, and also those marriages which are dissolved by death. So it expands the application of an existing remedy.
All right.
Not so much nullifies it, but rather expands it for the purposes of equality.
What will it mean for customary marriages and Muslim marriages?
So customary marriages and Muslim marriages are dealt with in terms of both the Divorce Act and the Recognition of Customary Marriages Act. And what this does, and what currently exists, is that this remedy already applies to customary marriages which were entered into before 84. It will now apply to those entered into after 84, and it will also apply to those dissolved by death. And the same with the Muslim marriages.
All right. Alison Botha is a state law advisor at the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
Listening to that, of course, is family law attorney Kerry van Ludwig, who joins us now. You've heard what Alison had to say. And just perhaps more broadly, Kerry, from your experience, how significant are these proposed amendments, and how have current antenuptial contracts disadvantaged non-earning spouses? And I would imagine that's usually women.
Morning, Bongani. Yes, I've been dying to chip in here, I must say, because it's quite close to my heart, you can imagine. My initial stance when I heard about this was to say, hold on a minute, when somebody has actually gone to the trouble and the time and the expense of concluding an antenuptial contract, then why does the court think that it should have any business going in there and meddling? And I say meddling in the most respectful way. I've also been serving as an acting judge in court, so I know that judges work very hard and we don't meddle. But it's probably a good way of putting it. In other words, before you got married, you applied your mind. You went along, you consulted with an attorney, you decided how you wanted to get married, which was out of community of property with no accrual. And suddenly down the line, at the end of your marriage, the spouse who comes off worst is saying, hang on a minute, I'm changing my mind, that doesn't suit me after all. I now want a share of your assets.
Kerry,
and the other spouse is saying, but we had a contract.
Kerry, hold
Yes,
on. Far be it from me to argue with one like you, but
Go
isn't
ahead.
part of the thinking here that we might have a different power dynamic at the start of that marriage, and so I may perhaps, without even admitting it, unwillingly sign this prenup arrangement just to get married in the hope that the other spouse may look after me. And when that changes, and I've contributed significantly to perhaps their career trajectory and what they earn, etc., now the tables have been turned, I can have a little bit of a voice. Doesn't it protect people who find themselves in that scenario?
Well, you've hit the nail on the head and taken the words out of my mouth and all those good things. You're a lawmaker. You understand what it's all about. The thing that I didn't understand from my privileged position is that many, and I didn't understand this as a strong woman, many, particularly women, but it's absolutely true that people of all genders and persuasions marry and conclude antenuptial contracts. Those people are disempowered. We don't generally tend to think that when you're entering into a contract, you come to that contractual table less strong. But when the research was done, it was indeed found that particularly women, and particularly still in today's society, and particularly where we are the child bearers and we do tend to stay at home, and there is still a little bit of the artificial perception of marriage being the place where you will have children and your spouse will look after you, then yes, absolutely, many people come to that antenuptial contract without an equality of contractual power. And that is exactly, you've absolutely hit the nail on the head. But that's what takes us to the important thing, is that this relief isn't just there for the taking. Alison mentioned the discretion of the court, which is a very, very important thing. And she also mentioned some sections of the Divorce Act where the court is directed what it must look at. So you can't just go along to anybody and say, right, I've changed my mind, I want a share, but I'm married out of community of property with an antenuptial contract after 1984. It's a matter of actually applying to the court for a redistribution of the assets of the wealthier spouse to the poorer spouse. So it really isn't there for taking. It's a big thing.
One might ask the question, why should I get married at all, Kerry, hey?
Well, let's not go into that unless I can have the entire day on the radio.
Family law attorney Kerry van Lotwig there. So I think these are things for people to consider around your marital arrangements and choices. And ultimately, why can't we just be nice to each other?
EWN Business.
All right, talking about things from home, 29 after 7, Mateo, meat prices are now taking the chunk of grocery budgets. Foot and mouth outbreaks are causing a price surge. I would imagine, particularly when it comes to beef. Have you tried to get even mincemeat?
Yeah, it's tough.
Hey?
It's really, really high. Eh?
Jeepers creepers.
Really, really high. So an increase in food and beverage pricing has driven up inflation in South Africa. Annual consumer price inflation was at 3% in June of 2025, up from 2.8% in May. Now, Stetsa says that the annual rate for food and non-alcoholic beverages reached a 15-month high at 5.1% in June. Meat, especially beef, continues to be the main driver of food inflation. Beef prices spiked for a third straight month, with large increases for stewing beef, mince, and steak. Stewing beef rising by annual 21.2%, the fastest pace on record since the current CPI series began in January of 2017.
I keep telling people, get into ostrich. If you're a lover of your steak, a very good substitute is ostrich.
It just
promise
sounds
you.
expensive.
It's not. I promise you, it's far less. Mincemeat is more expensive than those packets. Trust me when I say. Mr. Price, their shares dropping?
Yeah,
Share
the
price?
homeware and fashion retailer Mr. Price says it delivered a rise in retail sales to 9 billion rand in the first quarter. In June, though, the group says its retail sales decreased by 5.1% against a firm base of 12.7%. So their sales in June not up to scratch, and that saw their shares down 1.5% on the JSE.
Where's the rand?
Rand at this hour still quite strong against the US dollar at 17 Rand 53, 20 Rand 63 cents against the euro, and at 23 Rand 79 cents against the British pound. Price of gold slightly lower at $3,380 an ounce, or platinum is down 1.5% at $1,413. Brent crude up by close to 1% at $68.70 a barrel. More business after 8.
Straight to the news desk we go. Thank you, Butero. Right, Sfiso Zulu. The Education Department in Gauteng is saying ready, steady, go.
That's right, Bongani. Good morning. It is set to switch on its online admission system for grades 1 and 8 today. Now, the rollout has previously sparked frustration among parents who say they never receive placement offers with others saying they are assigned to schools far from home. And MEC Matume Chilwane will formally open the applications at the Garankuwa YMCA in Tshwane this morning. And Mongezi Koko is there and joins us now live. Mongezi, is all systems go for the registration process there?
That's right, Sviso. Some parents camped outside hoping to avoid the technical glitches and confusion that have dogged the system in previous years. Just last year, hundreds said they never received placement notices, despite the department claiming that all learners who applied were successfully placed. Now, the gap between policy and practicality is growing, with parents saying they're forced to chase school spots door to door after being assigned placements far from home or at schools they never applied to. Sviso, the department insists that those who don't accept the offered spot are recorded as unplaced, even though there was a place technically allocated for them. Right now, officials are setting up inside the venue, with the MEC expected to arrive shortly. Mungi Zikoko, Eyewitness News, reporting live from Garankuwa.
ANC MP and former Finance Minister Malusi Gigaba says he doesn't believe this year's drawn-out budget process has damaged National Treasury's credibility. Treasury's budget process was put to the test for the first time when parties in the Government of National Unity disagreed on fiscal policy, forcing leaders to backtrack on many proposals. After 3 attempts since the aborted budget speech in February, Budget 2025 was finally passed in the National Assembly last night. Nogukayam Dambo reports.
Generally thought to be a respected and credible institution, the frustrating budget process put National Treasury in a tight spot, somewhere between fiscal consolidation and political manoeuvring. Former Finance Minister Malusi Gigaba.
It remains a very strong institution for South Africa.
But he says there needs to be better mechanisms to avoid similar issues down the line.
Otherwise, we will lose credibility in international bodies and it will affect the credibility of our fiscal policy and processes, the position of the country with regard to international credit rating agencies, investor opinion, and just how the public views the way government functions.
This is the first time the ANC has needed the buy-in of other political parties to pass the budget after losing its parliamentary majority in the 2024 general elections. Nogukanyam Dambo, Eyewitness News in Cape Town.
FlySA Fair and Trade Union Solidarity will reconvene deliberations tomorrow after what some insiders have described as minor progress in labour talks. Both parties met yesterday in a CCMA-led round of negotiations amid a strike over wages by a majority of the airline's pilots. The airline is offering a 5.7% salary increase, but the workers are demanding a 10.5% hike as well as amendments to working conditions. Solidarity said it would negotiate for a lesser salary increase provided that the airline makes significant changes to the working conditions in favour of their pilots. It's unclear if any concessions have been made since the CCMA stepped in, and despite efforts to find common ground, the strike continues for now. And the families of the last group of junior footballers who were stranded in Europe are counting down the hours to see their children. The last group will touch down on home soil in Cape Town today after they were stranded for a week after their return tickets were never booked. But South Africans rallied to bring them home with donations to feed and house them while abroad. Kaylin Pretorius reports.
With the last group of teen footballers arriving home in just a few hours, some parents are gearing up to take legal action against BT Football Academy. One of the parents, speaking on condition of anonymity, says Academy owner Brandon Timmy reached out to him asking for 29,000 Rand to help get the kids back.
I'm just waiting for the other kids to come back. Then when they're done coming back, then I'm going to the police station.
He added that on the day the team left Cape Town, Timmy wouldn't allow parents to see the plane tickets. The emotional father also expressed his frustration about online comments directed at them.
What makes me cross is people on social media saying parents, what did they do? It pains me every day. We did a lot for our kids, guys. They must know that parents did a lot.
It's still unclear whether the owner of BT Football Academy will be meeting with parents to explain why their children and the coaches ended up stranded in Portugal. Kaylin Pretorius, Eyewitness News.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng, with showers expected today. The temperatures are at lows of 5 and 7 degrees, peaking at highs between 17 and 18.
And in the traffic, we've got a stop-and-go situation out on the M1 North. This is between Uncle Charlie's interchange all the way towards Carr Street. This is due to 2 major accident scenes. The one happened right near Xavier Street, and it's slowing down traffic coming out of the Uncle Charlie's turn-off. And there's also another one right near the Crown interchange, delays from Boyson's Road.
The top story this hour, the Gauteng Education Department is expected to switch on its online admissions system today.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
This news platform is also about exclusives.
Yeah.
Why didn't they run the story of the police arresting Mr. Molefe? Because that is an exclusive. At the time, nobody knew about it.
No, the publication is not operational. If you ever look at the website has not been running. So we were going to relaunch it with this exclusive.
I've got the website here opened, and there's a story that was published on the 22nd of July. So it is operational.
I'm talking about your exclusive story, not breaking news.
But then there's a story here on the website about Buti Manamela being appointed as Higher Education Minister. That's not an exclusive, but it's on your website.
Yes, it's just to keep the website running. I'm talking of operational in terms of an exclusive story.
Steve Madale, the national spokesperson for the Patriotic Alliance.
Clement Manyatela.
9 to 12 on 702.
At the heart of global conversations shaping the future, Africa's voice matters more than ever. As Africa's largest bank by assets and lead sponsor of the B20 Summit, Standard Bank Group is proud to spotlight the continent's growth, partnerships and potential on the world stage. Through informed dialogue and powerful partnerships, Standard Bank is driving sustainable growth where it matters most. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Choose Checkers, SA's #1 value for money supermarket, and save on Lancewood cheddar or Gouda cheese, 900 grams for $139.99. E45 dermatological body cream, 500 grams for $229.99 each. And Parmalat Everfresh long life milk, 1 litre 6-pack, any 3 for 269 rand. Valid until this Sunday at Checkers, Checkers Hyper, or shop on 6060.
Dreaming of your next getaway? Whether it's a sun-soaked beach escape, adventure-packed tour, or luxury cruise, Flight Centre is your go-to for travel. From flights and hotels to tours and cruises, we've got it all. Plus travel insurance for peace of mind. If you want the best deals, you can save more by taking advantage of our Bundle Plus Save offer. Plan your trip today at your nearest Flight Centre store or visit flightcentre.co.za. Flight Centre, your centre for travel.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Bongani 702. I'd like to find out, I'm in a customary Muslim marriage. What would happen in the case when my spouse then goes and marries a second wife without my consent or knowledge? How would this law then protect me? Thank you.
I was married in community of property to a man who had debt that I didn't know about. Had to pay that during marriage, had to pay that. Had to pay for the divorce when he left. Left with debt of his. When I sold my house, I paid his debt. So I literally, I can't see people ever getting married again, because either with or with, the whole idea with not getting married in community property was protecting either party.
Good morning, Bongs. This bill is very controversial. I mean, people sign these things sober-minded, and most of the time, the men, like 99% of the time, it's men that stand to lose the most.
Look, I think it's not necessarily going to change. Until the bill has actually been put forward, we won't know necessarily, right? But I think the thinking here is to say, particularly for those women who are completely disadvantaged at the end of the marriage, who've been contributing in non-financial means, but if the other partner's success is tied to the other's contribution, and at the end of the marriage, they are left completely desolate, I think the court will make exceptions. And I don't think what it means is that everything will be split 50-50, but I think there will be some kind of duty of care to the spouse that is now left in the lurch. And I absolutely take the point about being saddled with somebody's debt. These contracts are meant to protect both parties, but there are situations in which the one enters into this kind of marriage completely disempowered and may even get abused financially as a result of it. I think that's what the court is trying to address. So I don't think it means don't get married, but I do think it means think a little bit harder about what kind of arrangement you have and what might happen if things go wrong. I think that's where this is leading to us too.
Yes, Bongani, tell them about ostrich, man. I lived in George for like 2 years, and that's where we got introduced to ostrich meat. And Checkers has these ostrich patties that are amazing. For those 2 years, I never touched beef, like red meat. I had ostrich. I used to make ostrich skewers, cottage pie with ostrich steaks. It is amazing, and it really is good. You wouldn't even know you're eating a bird.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to be careful with it, though. It's a very, very sensitive bird. But yeah, with the price of meat, particularly beef, I have turned increasingly to ostrich steaks when I feel for that kind of taste. But gosh, the price of everything is just going up, isn't it?
702. What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance. It's your chance to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later, 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. We've got Mbulelo on the line from Tembisa. Mbulelo, what's today's answer?
Bongani, today's answer is 1982.
1982. And tell me, Mbulelo, do you have a quote from Outsurance?
Yes, Bongani.
Your biscuit. 1,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to 702 and Outsurance. 1982 is the answer. What's the question? Call us if you know on 011 883 0702.
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, very good morning to you once more. Let's talk rugby.
Yes, because the Springbok 37-man squad to play Australia in the Rugby Championship has 24 players that have won a World Cup. But notable players who have not been included are Mapimpi, de Klerk, Murat, Rus, Chituka and Forshire. They've been sent back to their respective franchises for experience in the Currie Cup. The Boks play Australia on the 16th and 23rd of August in Joburg and then Cape Town. Speaking of Australia, they're boosted by the return of Rob Valenti and Will Skelton for this weekend's clash with the British and Irish Lions. Also in the team is David Porecki and Langi Gleeson. In Test cricket, India 264 for 4 after being sent into bat by England on day one of the fourth Test. Pant was forced to retire hurt on 37 after he was struck on the foot with the ball. Sadra top scored with 61. Banyana's Gabriela Salgado's surgery was successful. The midfielder's leg was broken in the WAFCON semi-final loss to Nigeria. She's out for the rest of the year. Banyana playing Ghana tomorrow for third place. In transfer news, Stellenbosch defender Tylon Smith has completed a move to English Championship side Queen's Park Rangers. Smith was player of the tournament at this year's Under-20 AFCON. Barcelona signed Marcus Rashford from Man United on a season-long loan. Liverpool have finalised the deal for Hugo Ekitike from Eintracht Frankfurt for £79 million. In this transfer window, Liverpool have spent £295 million, with Chelsea second on 216 and then Manchester City on £128 million. And at the Tour de France, the top 10 general classification has no change. Pogacar still in the yellow jersey, 4 minutes and 15 seconds ahead of the field. Yesterday, Jonathan Milan won stage 17, his second stage win at this year's race. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Breaking news. SARS has enhanced the personal income tax return form. It has simpler questions that adapt to your income and deductions based on your answers. Whether you're employed or self-employed, the digital form has built-in guidance and the option to save and finish later. Tax matters, so does your time. File with ease on e-filing or the SARS Mobi app today. Go to sars.gov.za. SARS, at your service.
Calling all golf pros. Hollywood Bets invites you to step onto the green. Tee up, take a swing and enjoy glorious golf action from electrifying competitions and thrilling live tournaments. Get ready to conquer the fairway and chase epic fortunes. Ready to master the odds and experience your crowning moment? Bet now on all the excitement and prepare to make your hole-in-one shot to sensational success. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008.
You and your two besties have been belting out the same song since you were 6 years old.
Don't you feel like a crime?
30 years later, and that song will be sung live in New York City.
Don't you feel like crying?
Imagine.
Don't you feel like you could cry, crying?
Now imagine buying 3 Golden Circle tickets to the show. Ladies, we ride a door.
Oh, yeah.
Invest early. You'll be so happy you did. Coronation. Trust is earned. Coronation is a registered FSP.
From 24 to 27 July, Decorex Joburg returns to the Sandton Convention Centre, now spanning 5 halls. Explore over 300 brands, shop exclusive show specials, and discover the latest in interiors, kitchens, bathrooms, and luxury finishes. Experience live interactive demos, expert-led talks, and the Handmade Africa Design Market. There's something for every style, space, and home. Book your tickets now at decorex.co.za or at the door.
702 and Corporates That Care with Bata are talking about Bata Children's Program.
We've run school donations, volunteer days. We have about 82 people in our head office in KZN. They frequently go down to the Malvern Children's Home. The Malvern Children's Home is a home for orphans that we've adopted basically in the KZN region. We've assisted them with jungle gyms, water tanks, stationary libraries. We've built a library for them, as mentioned. Unfortunately, the Malvern's Children's Home has a R1 million debt, water and electricity debt.
Sure.
So we've created a GoFundMe page, and a portion of the proceeds from our Mandela Day shoe sales will go towards this cause. So when corporates choose Toughies for their Mandela Day giving, they're not just buying the school shoes, they're helping children keep their home running.
From jungle gyms to school supplies and life-changing donations, Bata is building brighter futures. Visit bata.co.za to learn more. 702, let's walk the talk.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN traffic is brought to you by Citroen. Buy an Aircross from 279,000 Rand or a C3 from 262,000 Rand with a service plan and get a 4-month payment holiday. Visit citroen.co.za. T's and C's apply. There's heavy traffic on the Mike 1 North. Amma, what's going on?
That's correct, Bongani. That's due to major 2 accident scenes. The one happened in Omondi, right on Xavier Street, so it's affecting traffic coming out of the Uncle Charlie's on the M1 North. And if you're traveling towards the Crown interchange, more delays due to an accident right after the Boyson's Road exit, queuing traffic all the way through towards the Crown turn off. And if you're heading towards the Crown as well, the M2 West is also heavily backed up between Wemapan Road and the Crown interchange. Traveling in the city of Tshwane, we still have got some delays along the R80 East Mabopane Highway towards Eskiampatlele exit. That's due to faulty traffic lights. I'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Break! You should put yourself first, like interpreting mandatory in-office days as optional. You do more than enough and you deserve breaks, no matter what the boomers say. Maybe if they'd done more lunchtime yoga, they'd be less uptight. That's why we'll give you a 4-month payment holiday when you buy the powerful C3 from just 262,900, which comes standard with rear sensors, reverse camera, warranty, and service plan. Visit citron.coza for more. T's and C's apply.
Future Life will be at this year's 702 Walk the Talk, supporting active lifestyles with a taste of smart nutrition for life. You can enjoy samples of Future Life smart food and bars, nutritious, high in protein, and packed with 19 essential vitamins and minerals. It's the perfect fuel for those always on the move. Convenient, delicious, and made for life in motion. Future Life, smart nutrition for life.
Hi. I need balloons.
Sure.
Now, my dog barked. Pretty sure he said potty.
Okay.
He was like...
At the Crazy Store, you'll find every excuse to celebrate.
Hi, me again. My houseplant survived another week. Where's your confetti?
And everything you need. Helium, gift wrap, dress up, and more. The Crazy Store. Hey, you never know what you might find. To have a good party.
Step into the foldable culture with the most pocketable flip, the new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7. Do more without opening your phone with handy AI features. Plus, capture style and travel aesthetics to create trend-worthy selfies. Pre-order now for the exclusive double storage offer. 512 gigabytes for the price of 256 gigabytes. Offer valid until 31 July 2025. It's not just a pocket phone. It's the new Galaxy Z Flip 7. T's and C's apply.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance. Please tell me what's the question. If the answer is 1982, let's go to Tsepang in Mabopane. Tsepang, what's the question?
Manu Bongani, in which year on this day was Eye of the Tiger by the Survivor topped the charts and go on to stay there for 6 weeks due to its association with the movie Rocky.
Did you record all of this? Tsepang?
No, I wrote down notes.
You wrote down notes. I love it. Tsepang, tell me, have you got yourself a quote from Artsurance?
My guy is currently short with Artsurance.
Ah, look at you. 2,000 Rand in cash. Coming your way, Tsepang. Congratulations. All thanks to Artsurance and 702. Yes, indeed. The song from the movie Rocky 3, topping the charts in 1982. Staying there for a massive 6 weeks. And it sounds as good now as it ever did.
Outsurance made it possible for us to travel more with the money that we save. 725. This is really real.
You are the biggest saver we've ever had.
2,794 Rand a month. It was the easiest switch ever. Get real.
How is it that Outsurance provided the solution for you?
918 Rand is what I'm saving.
Incredible.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands.
Just phone Outsurance, get a quote and see what they can offer you. If you don't save that 321 like I did, you might say get a 500 or $1,000 back. Service and savings, you'll always get something out.
What was the real deal they could offer you?
870.
That's amazing. What brought you and Outsurance together?
718 Rand. I end up saving.
They gave you the real deal.
It literally is the real deal.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
Get ready to fuel your stride with a delicious cup of Milo at 702 Walk the Talk. It's packed with 6 vitamins and 3 minerals to help power your walk from start to finish. Swing by the Milo van for a tasty boost and experience the same energy that fuels South Africa's future champs every day. Milo, energy to go further.
Of course you could take the lift just one floor up. Or you could grab the new Berry Blue sports drink from Aquila Vive and get moving. Blue has never tasted so good. Bursting with bold berry flavor, packed with electrolytes and vitamins, and free from colorants. Aquila Vive sports and power drinks. Let's move.
Herschel Gibbs here with more than just a crypto ad. Crypto payments are now live on 10bet. And there's more. Download the app, deposit, and get an extra 5% in cash. The future of betting, faster, safer, and smoother. Play now at 10bet.co.za. 10bet is a licensed betting operator and supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 shall be permitted to bet. Betting can be addictive. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
702.
702. What's gone viral?
With Kabazela.
And now for the world of viral content, Kabazela.
Good morning, my chairman.
Come on, Chief. Come on, Chief.
Sure, Captain.
We've just done the story, basically, right?
We have. So this was I love this one. So it's an e-card that somebody posted on X, and it said, the way South African men greet each other, you would think unemployment is not there. And then they list boss, chairman, chief, CEO, captain, manager. So it's basically asking people or telling people that, the way we greet each other in South Africa is just, there's so much respect sometimes with these greetings. So if you look at the comments, Bongles, some of the people here are saying that their favorite one is, I'll say to somebody, hello, my leader, or hola, hola, my Putin, hola, hola, my presidente. There's so many
my
here.
Putin.
My Putin. I've never heard that one. I've never heard somebody call somebody my Putin, but hey, this is what is on the comments here. So let's put it out there. What are some of the greetings that you have heard or you like to use to call somebody and you don't even know their name? Perhaps, you might be walking on the street and you say, Shosho Boza, or whatever it may be. Let's hear those this morning.
I hate big guy. Don't get me started.
Big guy. I get called that in the gym a lot. I don't know why.
I suspect for different reasons, Kabazela. We'll leave it there. Thank you, my Trump. That's what's gone viral with Kabazela.
EWN Traffic.
This Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Amo?
Well, I stop and go on the Mike 1 North. This is between the Uncle Charlie's interchange and the Crown turnoff due to an accident reported right near Xavier Street, causing those queues, as well as another one right near the Crown interchange causing queues coming out of the Boysons Road exit. I'll have more updates for you coming up shortly.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car with a couple stealing glances at each other. In a week, their lives will change forever as they exchange their I-do's. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic, it's a love story on the move. Every story's different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702.
702. Feedback.
With Siamtanda Matiso.
A very good morning to you, Siamtanda Matiso.
Good morning, Trump.
Whoa. Do I look orange?
No, just
Don't look
joking. I
orange.
was thinking of that one. Eastern Cape and Western Cape people, Xhosas, like calling people Joe. So yeah, Joe, when they're saying, telling someone. So I was thinking about that as
But it doesn't happen a lot with women, does it?
No, we call each other babe, darling, you know.
Okay, those are the titles. Oh, yeah, no, I'm not calling KG darling.
Yeah. Oh,
not
KG,
calling
start the
Mateo
clock,
babe. All right, what feedback do you have, darling?
Many responding to your question, Bongs, what are those perks you miss right now? And people are talking about birthday vouchers, bonuses. Some were even getting their like vacation trips like paid for. And I'm like, I wish I worked there. Free lunch at work.
So for context, if you've just joined in, we were talking a little earlier on about perks you used to take for granted at work that are no longer available.
And also many people reacting to your After 7 interview, Bongs, on the Family Matters Amendment Bill. Some are saying, listen, this is a step towards fairness when it comes to marriage. But some are saying this is just discouraging me to not get into marriage at all. It's becoming complicated by the day.
Look, I mean, I think the essence of it is be fair to each other. Yeah, things may not work out, but you can't, after 20 years of marriage, just leave the other person in the lurch when they have no way to look after themselves.
But one can argue, Bongs, divorce is never pretty. So,
well, this is the thing you see. This is the thing you see. More of your reactions coming up, and we do speak to the fantastic Rebecca Malupe in this next hour.
This is EWN.
MPs band together in support of a parliamentary inquiry into police corruption, and researchers say 7,000 steps a day can cut health risks. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The National Assembly has given the go-ahead for the establishment of an ad hoc committee to investigate allegations of police corruption and interference made by KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. Last night, the National Assembly considered the reports of the Joint Committees of Police and Justice and Constitutional Development, with political parties unanimously supporting its recommendations to look into Mkhwanazi's claims. The ad hoc committee will also look into allegations that Police Minister Senzo Mchunu misled Parliament about the nature of his relationship with Brown Mkhotsi, one of the people implicated. Babalondenza reports.
Police Committee Chairperson Ian Cameron says Parliament is duty-bound to respond to the damning allegations of corruption against police top brass and the criminal justice system. He says the establishment of a Judicial Commission of Inquiry by President Cyril Ramaphosa was welcomed by the committees, but Parliament has a responsibility to conduct its own oversight.
And as a people-centred Parliament, we were duty-bound to respond to the allegations made without delay.
The MK party's Sibonelo Nomvalo says Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi must be invited to expose all those implicated.
Hence our clarion call that Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi must appear before the ad hoc committee in Parliament and expose all the police officers, prosecutors, judges, members of Parliament.
The committee will have 3 months to complete its investigation before reporting back to the National Assembly. Babalondenza, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
The MK party has downplayed a blunder by its chief whip during the voting of the appropriation bill, which saw the official opposition giving the budget a thumbs up. Colin Makubele's confusion after a day spent rejecting the respective budget presented for the various government departments mistakenly supported the Government of National Unity appropriation bill in the National Assembly yesterday. Makubele was seemingly tripped up at least by processes and accidentally cast a vote on behalf of the MK party in favor of the appropriation bill. The official opposition was allowed to change his votes at a later stage, a move that other parties say sets a bad precedent because it was allowed after the voting window had closed. The MK's Des van Rooyen has dismissed the faux pas.
From vote 1 to vote 42, MK position has been clear. We have objected all these budget votes. I think there was a confusion from the table when the House chairperson announced the order number 5, and he was corrected by his own table. But by then, our chief whip have already tuned to order number 5, and that was the confusion. But it's just logic. I mean, you can't vote for no for all these votes from 1 to 42, and then at the final stage, you vote for yes. It doesn't make sense.
There are calls for Schedule 6 offenders to be denied bail entirely after revelations that the alleged killer of a senior municipal auditor was out on bail for a different murder case on the East Rand. Ekurhuleni senior forensic auditor Mpho Mafule was killed last month while returning from a work-related meeting. The accused Thabani Nchali made his first appearance in the Campton Park Magistrates Court yesterday, and it was revealed during proceedings that Nchali had been released on bail for a previous murder case allegedly committed in September last year. Alfara Mushwana reports.
NPA spokesperson P. Ndim Jonondwane says the state will oppose bail for Thabani Nchali in his latest murder case, as he's already set to stand trial for a separate murder charge.
It is for us as a prosecution to paint the picture in court that the accused has a propensity of committing violent crimes.
EFF Gauteng chairperson Kululeko Dunga says bail regulations must be amended to stop Schedule 6 offenders from repeating the crime.
In most cases, they become repetitive in nature in terms of their actions. Majority of the rapists who have been charged, you have found that they've either been out on bail and been out on warnings.
Nchali is scheduled to appear in court on the 15th of August for the alleged murder of Ekurhuleni auditor Mpho Mafole, with this other murder case also set to proceed during the same week. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News in Kempton Park.
And a study suggests that walking 7,000 steps a day can be enough to boost your brain power and help protect against a range of different diseases. It may be a more realistic target than the 10,000 steps, which is often seen as the benchmark to reach. The research published in the Lancet Public Health found that the figure was linked with a reduced risk of serious health issues, including cancer, dementia, and heart disease. The researchers say the findings could encourage more people to track their steps as a practical way to improve their health. Gold is trading at $3,391.04 an ounce. The rand is at 17.52 to the dollar, 23.80 to the pound, 20.63 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $68.70 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got some delays on the M1 North. In fact, stop and go between the Uncle Charlie's interchange and the Crown turn off due to 2 major accident scenes. Please be on the lookout there and drive with care.
In your sport, India resumed day 2 on 264 for 4 in the 4th test with England. Still no word on Risbah Pant, who retired hurt with a foot injury. Australia coach Joe Smith welcomes back 3 key players for Saturday's test with the Lions. And English Championship side QPR have signed Stellenbosch defender Tylon Smith.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers and thunder showers expected today. The temperatures will peak at highs between 18 and 20 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: the National Assembly has given the go-ahead for the establishment of an ad hoc committee to investigate allegations of police corruption and interference made by KZN Provincial Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app. Choose the 8 kilometer for those walking strong, the 6.7 kilometer in honor of Mandela Month, or the 4 kilometer for families and first timers in 702's Walk the Talk. Tickets on primemediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Eight minutes after 8 o'clock, you are listening to 702 Breakfast. Indeed, my name is Bongani Bingwa. Welcome to the show if you've just joined us. Gosh, you've missed out on quite a bit, hey? We've had so much going on. We started talking, if you like, theme the show around the loss of perks and benefits. And to illustrate that, I was asking, what perks or benefits did you once take for granted? And over the last 20 years, as the economy has faced many pressures from financial meltdown of 2008, just generally things going a little slower, particularly in the tail end of the Zuma years, then COVID. What perks did you once take for granted in your long, illustrious career that you now wish you had? We're talking, of course, also about the withdrawal of the funding by the US. There's been a little bit of a reprieve, but it's not going to go all the way to fill the gap. Now you've got situations where pregnant women don't always get access to PrEP, pre-exposure prophylaxis, because our whole system and protocol was around you being counseled before you're given it. Those counselors are no longer there because there's no money to pay them. But surely the women getting the PrEP should be the priority. Regardless, we need to think outside of the box. And is your antenuptial contract as tight as you think it is?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Kabazela wants to know the way we greet each other as South Africans. What are those common names people use? Hola, Chief. You know, my guy. My guy. Budeza. Muteo, which ones do you like? Which ones do you not?
Jita, Tiam, those are the usual greetings that you'll get. I don't like Ngamla though.
You're going to have to explain what Ngamla is.
Ngamla
You
in
opened
the
that door.
colloquial term, or Tsotsital for a white man.
Yeah.
Or a white person.
So why don't you like being called Ngamla?
Well, you call that if you're in a better, better.
Yeah, you're seen as more prosperous.
Yes, more
because
prosperous. Let's put it
traditionally
that
it was expected that a white man
will be in a better position in life.
Was prosperous,
Yeah.
right? So when you call someone Ngamla, it's almost a nod. You know, you're taking your hat off to their station in life, their position, perhaps
Yes.
even their wealth.
I've never really accepted that one.
Really?
No.
There you are, being this, economics broadcaster, business broadcaster.
Nah.
On 702, speaking the big English.
Does not matter.
You are so Ngamla. You are so Ngamla. Amo?
I like it when guys refer to an older guy as Grod.
Don't you dare. Don't you
it's a
dare.
sign of
Don't you
respect,
dare.
though, no?
Grootman.
Yeah. Grootman.
Grootman.
What is
What
you're a
Grootman?
Grootman. Are you not a Grootman?
Are you calling me fat?
No.
Are you calling me
Bong,
big?
come on,
No.
no.
No, Grootman yaing.
As in
Who's
my-
the clean man, ke? Are you clean man when?
Yeah, because I'm younger than you.
Don't call me that.
Good morning, Bongani Bingwa in 702 team. This is Elton Gordon in Python, eThekwini, KZN. With the greetings, yeah, South Africa is a very colorful and vibrant nation, but I don't really like the one when they call you chief and stuff. The one I like, Mr. Bingwa, is Makutsa. Makutsa sounds so respectable. Like if I'm saying to you, it's either I call you by your name or alternatively, hey, how are you, Makutsa? It sounds more appropriate than chief or boss for me. Thank you for a great show, guys.
Hey, Bongani, I hate when they call me the Hoa Mlungu or Chief. Isaac here from Pretoria. Cheers.
Morning 702, morning Bongs. Yeah, you hear them saying, Mganwamwe Poza. Luvuyo Krasmir.
Bongs, my name is Charles here in Riverside. Hey, Khotmane, don't call me Chief, man. Don't call me Chief. Chief. I feel like there's no respect when you call me that, man. Especially if you're the ANC. Don't call me chief, bruh.
Some of the phrases that they use in our area are Awe Masakan, Tuzadont, Exe Melani, and when they speak to women, it would be mamas, was it mamas, or Exe Metani. Those are the phrases that they mainly use.
My leader, my king, right? Those are the words they will often use. Leadership, my leadership. How do you get greeted and do you like it? Grootman. Chairman. My leader. These are some of the responses to this cart that was put out on social media. We've got Duduzile on the line from Pretoria. Duduzile, what don't you like to be called?
Mama Zala. just call me Mama.
Dimamzo?
Mama Zala, no.
Not even Dimamzo?
Dimamzo is good.
But not Mama Zala.
Aye, Mama Zala makes me sick.
When I was younger, it doesn't happen so much these days. People, older women might say Mkwenyan. Mkwenyan.
Yeah, I know that, Bones, but hey, please, guys, don't call me Mama Zala. Just call me Mam Tutu, Dimamzo, whatever. Don't call me Mama Zala.
All right, Dimamzo. All right. Tutuzile calling us from Pretoria. And of course, for non-Nguni speakers, Mama Zala is a reference to your mother-in-law, but often an older woman might be referred to as Mama Zala, right? Or Mama or Dimamzo. And Umkwenyana, of course, is your son-in-law. So quite often, especially if there's some kind of conflict and an older woman wants to step in as a way of asserting her authority, she might say, I'm Mkwenyan. Don't do that. Or don't be like that, Mkwenyan. It's a way of asserting at least some sort of authority based on her seniority in years. So those things happen very much in the culture. But yeah, some of the names, not all of us take kindly to them.
EWN Traffic.
8:15, Amo. Roadworks on the R21 North. And what don't you like to be called?
Oh my goodness, I don't like being called Mama or Dimamzo by my peers. No, guys, no ways.
Because you think, what do you think, I'm older than you?
I'd rather settle for someone forgetting my name, rather mistaking my name for Kamu or... But
not Dimamzo.
Don't say Dimamzo. Sure, Dimamzo. No.
Okay.
No.
All right, Dimamzo, what's happening on the R21?
Sure, Groot. Well, we've got delays because of roadworks between the R23 and the R25. Please be on the lookout there if you're heading towards the Tembisa area. While traveling on the Mark North, we still have got that stop and go situation due to an accident right on Xavier Street. The delays are as you come out of Uncle Charlie's interchange all the way towards the Crown interchange. There's also queuing traffic along the Soweto Highway approaching the M1 bridge. I'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
At Bright, we don't just provide business insurance, we insure your businesses.
Future success.
Because your business is so much more than desks and computers and equipment, which is why we use our specialist expertise to tailor solutions for each client differently to ensure what's really important. So insure your businesses.
Financial security.
With Bright today, contact your broker or go to brightinsure.co.za to find out more. Bright, approach risk with purpose. Bright is a licensed insurer and authorized FSP.
Your office is more than just a place to work. It's a reflection of your success. At Desk and Chair, we help you elevate your workspace with locally manufactured desks and a wide range of chairs to suit your style and budget. Our expert consultants are with you every step of the way, from planning to delivery and assembly. Visit our showroom in Midrand or shop online at deskandchair.co.za. Desk and Chair. Think, feel, work better.
Life is full of moments. Some are small.
Like me, Dad.
And some are big.
Like a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
For all those moments, there's the new Haval H6 SUV. With upgraded style, a refined interior, and new innovative features, it's built for big moments.
And the little ones.
Discover the new GWM Haval H6 from only 6,799 per month. Visit gwm.co.za for T's and C's and to book a test drive. GWM, go with more.
We love rating things, our phones, our cars, but our health? Your health lets you do what you love with the people you love. So who are you staying healthy for, and how can you improve your health? Choose Dis-Chem Life, the life cover that helps you live a healthier, more rewarding, longer life with regular health checks. Visit dischemlife.co.za now. Dis-Chem Life. Choose a better partner for life. Dis-Chem Life is an authorized FSP 50594, underwritten by Guard Risk Life, a licensed life insurer, FSP 76. T's and C's apply.
The 702 Walk the Talk is happening this Sunday. We can't wait to walk with you. It's going to be an awesome family day out. But before we hit the streets, you need your walk number, don't you? Well, if you chose to collect yours at the DP World Wanderers Stadium in Joburg, you can do so today and tomorrow only, between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. If you selected the Union Buildings in Pretoria as your collection venue, walk numbers will be ready for collection this Saturday, the 26th, only between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Now remember, you must go to the collection venue you selected when entering. The 702 Walk the Talk, hosted by Freedom Park Heritage Site in the city of Tshwane. We'll see you on Sunday.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
19 after 8. Now, you know him for his commanding presence on screen, but now Zolisa Xaluva is making headlines off screen too. The acclaimed actor has just won a massive arbitration case against Seriti Studios over unpaid work on the TV series Code 13. It's being described as a bold move that has the potential to shake up the industry, but also to remind creatives to know their worth. He joins us now. We were unable to speak to him yesterday. We promised you that conversation, but he's agreed to come on. Zolisa, hola, Grootman.
Shabujan, Bijam, right?
I just thought I'd try. You're from the Eastern Cape. We don't really use a lot of those greetings, I think, in the Eastern Cape, but maybe that was a long time ago. All right, let's talk about your contractual dispute with Seriti Studios. What happened? Why weren't you paid?
Well, just basic background is that I signed an 8-week contract with them. I served the contract. Once the contract lapsed, they offered to attach an addendum to the contract. I was happy to do the 10 extra days on the addendum, but unfortunately there was no fee on it. So I began to inquire about that. And their interpretation of the contract was that I didn't need to get paid for the addendum period. But my interpretation was different. So we had a back and forth and had a stalemate eventually. But with all that said, I agreed to shoot while we try to figure out who's right and who's wrong, because I didn't want to abscond the show and disappoint Channel, and because they had given a financial contribution to the thing, and I owed my audience a complete product. So I decided to shoot the 10 days without signing the addendum. But then after shooting the 10 days, they still felt that they were right and I was wrong. And I decided to take the legal route. And having taken the legal route, months later, we went to arbitration and I was awarded the fee that was attached to the 10 days with interest and at costs. But now the problem is that they haven't honored the award in about 5 months. So we had to then convert the award into an order of the court, which is where we are now. It's an order of the High Court of Joburg. At this point, we have the possibility of attaching property, but we don't wish to do that. We're hoping to still sit down and figure out an amicable way to deal with the situation. But that's where we're at now.
How does it work for performers, actors specifically, of course, in your case, where you come up against this kind of contractual dispute? You know, of course, your work is freelance work, and word can go around that Zolisa is difficult. Zolisa will question the T's and C's. How does an artist navigate that kind of minefield?
Well, I walk into every contract with lawyers. They read my contract, they sign my contract. If there are any issues, then I consult with them and they deal with it. And as far as being difficult is concerned, I mean, if you are a contracting party and you give me a contract, that's in essence, you are giving me a Bible. A working formula for both that should work for both of us. So if there are any issues on my side, that is the only, recourse that I have in order to deal with whatever situation that I'm faced with.
Yeah.
I don't think one should be felt difficult for merely asking for what is rightfully theirs. You know, difficult is being impossible. and asking for the impossible things that are way outside of the contract. Whatever clauses I want in the contract, I negotiate pre getting into the job, and those become the contract itself becomes guiding principles of the working relationship. So it shouldn't be a problem.
I fully agree with you. All I'm saying is some actors are bullied into silence because they fear that label of being difficult. I mean, you are Zolisa Xaluva, and if you could get into this scenario, a young up-and-coming actor or artist might not have the infrastructure you've got, legal and otherwise, to be able to take this kind of thing on. And I suspect it happens quite frequently.
I suspect that too, Bongs, but people have agents. Maybe agents should step up. If you're a young actor and you're afraid to speak up for yourself, rather have lawyers sign your contracts and have them deal with the production directly. Then maybe you don't have to be labeled as difficult. Maybe they'll just say that your lawyer or your agent is difficult. I think that would be the one solution I would offer people. But I do suspect it happens quite a bit, and I know people are too scared to speak up.
What does it say about the industry?
Something's got to give. A revolution needs to take place in order for our evolution to transpire. But the key to our survival as actors in this country, I think, lies in our ability to come together. For as long as we're divided, I don't think we'll get anywhere, because we'll win cases independently in little side pockets, and some of them will never even get the attention or the time of day. So I think the key to our survival lies in our ability to come together. For as long as we're divided, I guess, now.
I appreciate your time and good luck to you. Zolisa Xaluva there, South African actor. You know him, of course, from so many TV series, winning that arbitration award. And as he points out, even that hasn't quite yet settled the matter.
702, The World View.
With Adam Gilchrist.
Catch up with news from elsewhere in the world now. Adam, gosh, I mean, we've spoken about the bombings, we've spoken about the destruction, and now death in Gaza simply from starvation. It just gets more awful every day.
Yeah, absolutely. Man-made mass starvation. This is not the result of drought or terrible natural disasters, but simply because of an Israeli blockade, seemingly, and a lack of entitlement to the food aid that may be getting there. And in fact, Israel says there are 950 trucks worth of aid waiting to be picked up and distributed by international agencies. But the international agencies are saying they're being stymied from doing it. There seems to be a difference of opinion on that, certainly. But more than 100 aid groups, the Mercy Corps, Norwegian Refugee Council, Refugees International, the UNICEF, Oxfam, Save the Children, they're all warning of this mass starvation. It seems 10 people have died in the last 24 hours simply because they starved to death. Since the weekend, it's over 30. There are hundreds of people at risk in the next few days. This is a spiraling situation. And as the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres put it, starvation is knocking on every door in Gaza. And yet we all see this happening, and what on earth can we do?
And still people question whether or not it's ethnic cleansing. Let's go to a really bizarre mix-up of the wrong remains, Adam. This is from an Air India plane crash.
Now, I have to say, I do feel for the authorities in this and those who are responsible for picking through the debris and the remnants of the Air India plane crash. It's 6 weeks ago today that it happened. But nonetheless, the mix-up should not happen, should it? So we already know that 52 Britons died on this plane crash. Actually, an awful lot of Indian people already been buried or have been taken care of. But the bodies and remains of the Brits are only just coming through, 12 so far out of the 52. And Miten Patel, whose mother and father both died in the crash, says that when he saw the remains of his mother, he knew it wasn't her, whether it was jewelry or other artifacts or whatever, was in there instead. Another family in the UK say that there seem to be multiple numbers of bodies or remains of bodies in the casket that they were sent from India. How did that happen? It's a very distressing thing for the families. It's very distressing for those having to sort through the bodies. But at the same time, mistakes like that are really painful, aren't they?
No, lad. Would that be welcome in Edinburgh? I tried.
I think that's more of a Dundee accent, I would know. Yeah. Anti-tourism protests. They have happened across Europe, in Italy, Portugal, Spain, the Canary Islands in particular, but now a quieter protest in Edinburgh. The residents of the Scottish capital say they're being consumed, not even necessarily by tourists, although 5 million go there every year, but by tourist shops. There are, on the Royal Mile, the famous ancient cobbled road that leads up to Edinburgh Castle, on the Royal Mile, there are now 72 gift shops, 42 cafes and restaurants, 8 jewelry stores. And local residents are saying, what about us? Where are the grocers, the butchers, the hairdressers, the doctors' surgeries? Even the charity shops have gone. Everyone is able to buy anything Scotland related, whiskey, shortbread, Highland cow, fridge magnets. I confess I went to the Royal Mile and bought several tartan scarves as Christmas presents. So I'm obviously contributing to that. They're not quite squirting water pistols in tourists' faces, but they are certainly complaining to the local council. We're not against tourism. Maybe it's just gone too far.
Adam Gilchrist with this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
All right, our final business update for the day. Muteo Kharipo, Adcock Ingram shares are surging. This is, of course, after the Indian consortium proposed a takeover.
Yeah, Adcock Ingram surged the most on record after India's Netco Pharma said it would acquire a stake in the South African drug maker for about $232 million or 4 billion rand. The Hyderabad-based Netco is offering 75 rand per share for about 35.75% of the stock, not already owned by Adcock's biggest stakeholder, Bidvest. Bidvest holds around 53.6% of Adcock Ingram. As a result, Adcock, the makers of Panado, will be delisted from the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Shares at the company, which produces generic medicines as well as skincare products, rallied by as much as 24% at some point on Wednesday.
We've spoken about this once or twice. Meat prices on the up and up.
Yeah, an increase in food and beverage pricing has driven up inflation in South Africa. Annual consumer price inflation up at 3% in June from 2.8% in May. Stats SA says the annual rate for food and non-alcoholic beverages reached a 15-month high to 5.1%. Now, meat, especially beef, continues to be the main driver of food inflation. Beef prices spiked for a third straight month with large increases for stewing beef, steak and mince. Stewing beef rising by an annual 21%, the fastest pace on record.
Mr. Price, share price dropping?
Yeah, homeware and fashion retailer Mr. Price has delivered a rise in retail sales of more than 6% to 9 billion rand in the first quarter, but the results were a bit mixed. In June of 2025, the group saw its retail sales decrease by 5.1%, online sales increasing, particularly in the homeware department.
Where's the rand?
Rand at this hour, 17 Rand 54, still in a good position against the dollar, 20 Rand 65 cents against the euro, and at 23 Rand 80 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $3,376 an ounce, while platinum is at $1,413. Brent crude up more than 1% this morning at $68.92 a barrel. Stephen Grotes with more this afternoon.
Straight to the news desk we go. Sfisa Zulu, what do you have?
The Johannesburg High Court will today hand down judgment in a case of a former preschool teacher accused of raping and murdering her stepdaughter. Amberly Hughes was arrested in 2023 in connection with 4-year-old Nada Jane Chalita's murder. Hughes has pleaded not guilty on all charges. Ntokozo Khumalo reports.
In 2023, little Nada Chalita's body was found floating in a bathtub of the apartment where she lived with Amberly Hughes and her father. It is understood she was left in Hughes' care on the day she died. Hughes was arrested on the same day the little girl's body was discovered and has been behind bars since. During the trial, the court had heard of Hughes' volatile romantic relationship with the 4-year-old's father. The High Court was expected to hand down its judgment last week, but the matter was postponed due to Hughes' last-minute change in her legal representation. Dogozo Khumalo, Eyewitness News.
The Gauteng Education Department is set to switch on its online admission system for grades 1 and 8 today. The process has previously frustrated some parents who say they never receive placement offers, with others saying they are assigned to schools far from home. MEC Matumechelwane will formally open applications at the Garankua YMCA in Tshwane this morning. Mongezi Koko is there.
Some parents camped outside hoping to avoid the technical glitches and confusion that have dogged the system in previous years. Last year, hundreds said they never received placement notices, despite the department claiming that all learners who applied were successfully placed. The gap between policy and practicality is growing, with some parents saying they're forced to chase school spots door to door after being assigned placements far from home or at schools they never applied to. But the department insists that those who don't accept the offered spot are recorded as unplaced, even though a place is technically allocated. Right now, officials are setting up inside the venue, with the MEC expected to arrive shortly. Mungi Zikoko, Eyewitness News, Garankua.
FlySafair says all scheduled departures have been operating normally amid a pilot strike. The airline met with Union Solidarity yesterday in a CCMA-led round of negotiations. The airline is offering a 5.7% salary increase, but the workers are demanding a 10.5% hike and amendments to working conditions. Solidarity said it would negotiate for a lesser salary increase, provided that FlySafair makes significant changes to the working conditions in favour of the pilots. FlySafair spokesperson Kirby Gordon says they will reconvene deliberations tomorrow.
FlySafair's on-time performance yesterday was 97%. We had a constructive engagement yesterday afternoon with Solidarity under the guidance of the CCMA, and we will reconvene again on Friday for further work toward a resolution on the strike action.
And at least 10 forestry and rescue workers have been killed while battling wildfires in Turkey. Authorities say the teams were trapped inside the blaze following a change in the direction of the wind. 5 forestry workers and 5 volunteers lost their lives, and 14 forest workers were taken to hospital. The blaze in the northwest of the country started on Tuesday and quickly spread towards nearby areas. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng, with showers expected today. The temperatures will peak at highs between 18 and 20 degrees.
And in the traffic heading towards the OR Tambo interchange, we've got an accident reported on the R21 North. This one is right near the Barbara Road exit. In fact, it's the R24 East near Barbara Road. It's slowing down traffic. There's also queuing traffic. In fact, peak time delays on the N12 as well as the R24 West between Edenville Road and the Gilulis interchange.
The top story this hour: the High Court in Johannesburg will today hand down judgment in a case of a former preschool teacher accused of raping and murdering her stepdaughter.
This July, you won't just take a step, you'll take a stand. The 702 Walk the Talk is hosted by Freedom Park in the city of Tshwane. Get your tickets today on primemediaplus.com.
Sell your car now and get paid instantly. There's no waiting when it comes to We Buy Cars. Simply complete the online form on webuycars.co.za to get started. Looking for your next ride? Explore thousands of vehicles with finance and all the extras available online and in store. So whether buying or selling, We Buy Cars has what you need.
Psst. Hey, no longer feeling like the man you used to be?
The man who's the life of the party even when he doesn't attend.
The fact is, 95% of men with low testosterone go untreated.
Vitamin High Performance Supplements for Men helps recharge energy, regain lean muscle, and reload performance. Available at all good pharmacies and vitamin.co.za.
Vitamin. Don't get older. Get better.
You are the poster child, the biggest saver we've ever had.
I decided that I would contact Outsurance and let them work out what they could do for me.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, big saving. 2,794 Rand a month.
That's over 33,000 Rand a year.
And it was the easiest switch ever. Real people helping real people get real deals.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's and information online.
Formulated from 5,000-year-old Ayurvedic wisdom, refined through decades of modern science. For 95 years, Himalaya Wellness has been the trusted name in herbal care, caring for families armies in more than 100 countries around the world. Our clinically studied natural formulations, pure herbs, and personal care products are designed to support your health, skin, smile, and your baby's well-being. Bring the healing power of nature into your home. Himalaya Wellness. Live well, live herbal.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Hey Bongani, just my thoughts on the kids that got stranded in Portugal. I mean, surely it is incumbent on the airline to make sure that there is a return ticket before boarding those passengers. I know a lot of airlines do that, in particular when flying to the US. They do make sure that your paperwork is in order. Surely somebody would have made some sort of check to see if that was taken care of. Thanks, Mark Randberg.
Hi, 702 and team. This is Tracy from Dalmas. When my child travels anywhere with school, he's still in primary school. So if they go on a field trip or they are going to another school to play sport, I will make sure that I am the one transporting him. And if it is an event that I can attend with him, then I attend it. I'm sure it irritates the school endlessly, but that's just the way I'm going to be doing it. I cannot put my whole faith in somebody else to take care of my child.
Yeah, I was asking about your due diligence as a parent before your child travels. I think we got a call yesterday from a dad who has twins who are very sporty, and he was talking about how it's expensive. I mean, it's great that they're good at all these things, but there was an overseas trip, I think, with a school where it was 30,000 Rand per child, and because it's two of them, he had to fork it out. So when you asked about a camp or a tour of some kind, and your kid has been selected to play the first 11 of whatever sport, netball or football, whatever, how diligent are you when it comes to checking every single detail? Because, of course, you can't necessarily go on the tour with them. Now, it's perhaps easier if it's the school because you've got a little bit more of a direct line there. But if they're participating in some other extramural activity, I'm just thinking as a parent, I would want to know, forget even suspecting a scam, I would want to know, do you have all your documents? Is the folder with, your air ticket to go, your return air ticket? Where is your passport? Do you have all your certificates in terms of, proof of vaccination? Do you have all these little details that I would make sure she has a little folder, marked different colors, this for that, for ease of reference. Any possible document they may require, you know where it is and how to access it. You follow what I'm saying? But maybe it's just easy for me to think of those things because I'm sitting here and I'm not one of the parents whose kids were just recently stranded in, was it Spain or Portugal or both?
EWN Sport.
Cindy, I know you know about this story. It just raises so many questions, right, about how all of this worked out.
So what I understand about this story was that these parents had booked and paid, and included in the fee was the return ticket.
Yeah.
The company said because of some exchange or whatever, the flights had got really expensive, so they were going to book closer to the time. And then it turned out to be an extra 15,000 or whatever. Why they never alerted the parents to that, I don't know. But I can't imagine, there's two scenarios here. I can't imagine that a parent would send their child on a tour without the confirmation of the flight number and the return ticket and the landing and whatever, which means the tour operators could have, I don't know the full story, not cooked the books, but maybe lied or said, oh no, it'll be finalized, or we'll send the documentation, and then never did, because you're trusting that somebody wouldn't send 35 children to a different country on a. The other half of me is, you must remember that a lot of parents haven't traveled themselves, have never traveled overseas. They don't understand how it works. A lot of parents haven't been on a plane. And I'm not assuming this about any of the parents, but a lot of the times when children are afforded the opportunity by these marketing companies, and I call them that because I've yet to see a child who's gone on any of these sports trips and it's come out in fruition in a national section, like, oh, it's because they went to on that Spain trip when they were 15.
And now they're a junior
And
Bok.
there is a very, very big exchange between Spanish football and South African football of kids coming back and forth on various tours. But a lot of parents see it as an opportunity also you don't mind to send your child on this trip because it's in an organized group, so they won't get lost. It affords them the opportunity to travel the world in an experience that you wouldn't be able to give them by as a family, or we can't afford to go together. It also allows them to grow independence, because that's what these sports trips are about. It's about your child going, hang on a second, I once upon a time did get on a flight without my parents and I was okay, and this is how I did it.
And you don't want to be the parent who holds your child back because you've got, you're a little uncertain about where or how the world looks.
So my advice to parents, and we see this a lot, and I can only speak from a netball point of view because I've experienced this. There are a lot of trips that children get invited on.
Yeah.
It's not a yes or a no. There are parents who turn it down because they don't have the financial means to send the child, and at the end of the day, like I said, it's not growing their sporting career. But my advice is go on Hello Peter. Go on Facebook reviews, go on all these places and type in the company that has invited your child on the trip and read other parents' experiences with that touring company before you send your child.
Great advice. Let's talk about England and India.
Test cricket. On the go in Manchester. Bongani. India resuming day 2 on 264 for 4 in the 4th test with England. Still no word on Risbah Pant's injury. He retired hurt yesterday. He was hit on the foot with the ball. Sudrasen top scored yesterday with 61. Also today, Zimbabwe playing New Zealand in the 6th match, the T20 series. New Zealand, who are unbeaten in the series, play the Proteas in the final on Saturday. And Bangladesh are going for a whitewash series win over Pakistan. It's the 3rd T20 starting later. In rugby, Australia coach Joe Schmidt named his strongest possible sides play the British and Irish Lions this Saturday. Rob Valenti, Will Skelton and David Porecki are back from injury, while back home Bok coach Rassie Rasmus named a 37-man squad for the first 2 tests of the Rugby Championship with Australia. The talk is around the players sent back to their franchises for the Currie Cup that starts tomorrow. Those players not in the Bok squad for the first 2 matches of the Rugby Championship are Mapimpi, de Klerk, Murat, as well as Roos, Chituka and Fouchier. Banyana's Gabriela Salgado's surgery was successful. The midfielder's leg was broken in the WAFCON semi-final loss to Nigeria. She's out for the rest of the year. Some transfer news. Stellenbosch defender Tylen Smith's been signed by English Championship side QPR. Barcelona signed Marcus Rashford from Man United on a season-long loan. Liverpool finalised the deal for Hugo Ekitike from Eintracht Frankfurt, taking their total spend this season to £295 million. And at the Tour de France, the top 10 general classification has no change, with Pogacar still in the yellow jersey, 4 minutes and 15 seconds ahead of the field. Yesterday, Jonathan Milan won stage 17, his second stage win at this year's race. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays,
12 to 1.
Is there one item that you buy on a regular basis that you've noticed has just rocketed in terms of the price and inflation?
We pay VAT on water and electricity. I mean, this is a basic need of every South African, and we're paying value-added tax on it. It's absolutely ridiculous to think that nobody cares and nobody does anything about it. If they want to play politics, they should take VAT away from electricity and water.
The Midday Report
With Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702. Entries to the 702 Walk the Talk are open. Go to primemediaplus.com to get your tickets today.
This year, the Private Security Industry Regulatory Authority, also known as PSIRA, is proud to be partnered with 702 Walk the Talk. Look out for the PSIRA activation at the finish point if you want to chat about how they contribute to safer community. PSIRA is also actively vetting all contracted private security companies involved in the walk so you get to the finish line safely and confidently. PSIRA, your partner in security and safety at 702 Walk the Talk. Safer homes, safer communities, safer businesses.
Oh, Shane, do you have a sore throat? The Andalex range of lozenges offers 2 options,
At the first signs of an irritated, scratchy throat, use Andalex lozenges for dual action soothing relief. But for a painful, inflamed throat, use Andalex C lozenges for triple action pain relief. Andalex, SA's #1 choice for a sore mouth and throat. Andalex lozenges are available at all leading pharmacies and supermarkets.
Just Andalex it.
EWN Traffic.
All right, let's catch up with a traffic wrap-up for this morning. Amo?
Well, if you are traveling on the N3 North, we've got some delays. This is between the Yelands Interchange and Van Buren Road due to a major accident scene. Bongani, switch off your phone.
We are busy
It's
on
going
the radio,
crazy.
sir. Switch off your phone.
I cannot. While traveling on the N12 West, more delays between Edenville Road and the Gililis Interchange. There's also queuing traffic along the R21 North. This is as you head towards Tembisa due to the roadworks that are taking place along this route, and they're causing about a 20-minute hold-up between the R23 and the R25. Please be on the lookout there. I'll have more updates for you at the top of the hour.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. Coming up
On the Clement Manyatela Show.
on 702.
Askis Timamzo. Askis. Clement, a very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Did you see the most bizarre moment in this appropriations bill vote?
Yeah.
When the MKP decided, having said no to all the individual votes,
Yes.
that overall actually it's fine.
Yeah, we're voting in support, only to realize that, oopsie, they're voting for the wrong thing. But also, we've spoken before about just the mess up that we've seen in some instances by the MK party in parliament. And you know, some listeners were more kind to say, yeah, but they're new to this thing, so give them time, they'll get used to it. But that's quite, like, mistakes like that are quite monumental. Like, had they not realized that in that moment, I mean, they would have made a really big blunder.
I follow Davi Ruert, who is, of course, the elections analyst. And one of the things he's talking about, he's starting to see a little trend. Maybe it's too early to call it a trend, but certainly it seems like they're gaining traction in these little by-elections, these little council elections in different parts, particularly of Gauteng. So perhaps that mistake isn't as costly as you and I might think. What's on the show?
So coming up on the show today, we are going to reflect on what happened yesterday. This is basically the first ever budget under the GNU that has been passed. So it's quite the big deal given what's happened that preceded this moment. So we'll talk about that. We're also going to talk about the issue of the 8 ANC Youth League leaders in Gauteng who were appointed to the boards of Gauteng's public hospitals. We were supposed to talk about this yesterday, but it was overtaken by the conversation you also had this morning about the laws that could change divorces or marriages in the future. So we're going to come back to this conversation. I'm going to bring in the DA and Action SA because they have raised the alarm. The health department still doesn't want to come and talk to us so they can explain how 8 ANC youth leaders made it on the boards of these hospitals. So we'll have that chat on the open line. But between 10 and 11 o'clock, we do the hanging out feature. And today I'm hanging out with Dr. Sizwe Mpofu Walsh. We're going to get to know him better between 10 and 11 o'clock. At 11, we do our Thursday dialogue. And today we're going to be focusing on this U.S. South Africa Bilateral Relations Review Act. It's a bill that could review U.S.-South Africa relations and potentially impose sanctions on senior ANC officials. Yes, the big development here is that the bill has now moved from committee to Congress, but there's still a long way to go. So we'll look at what processes are expected to follow next and what does this mean? We'll speak to some analysts about that as well, just after 11 o'clock.
Clement Manyatela between 9 and 12.
Some walks are just for exercise, others for leisure. But the 702 Walk the Talk is for something far greater. Enter now on PrimeMediaPlus.com.
Vodacom's Red Hot Deals presents more value. Get the Samsung Galaxy A05s 128 gig on a Flexi 160 plan for just $179 per month over 36 months. Enhance your deal. Add 99 extra per month to get 10 gigs of data and a free Vodacom Smart Tab 8. Available in-store and online. Miss it, miss out. T's and C's apply. Further together. Vodacom.
Akwele.
Akwele.
Akweli.
Akwela.
Akwele.
Akwili.
Akwele.
No matter how you say it, one thing's for sure. Aquele is South Africa's most loved water brand, refreshing you with pure natural spring water and delicious flavored sparkling drinks. From every sip to every smile, thank you Mzansi for making Aquele a part of your everyday moments. Aquele, spreading joy to South Africa naturally.
10 years ago, Illuma Capital set out with one goal: to help people like you build a legacy for tomorrow. Through personalized strategies and unwavering dedication, we've been instrumental in helping our clients achieve their financial dreams, whether it's securing retirement, growing wealth, or planning for the unexpected. For a decade, we've been trusted to guide your financial journey with expertise and care. Visit illuma.co.za today. Illuma Capital is a licensed FSP. T's and C's apply.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Oh man. Some of these voices come once a lifetime. And this Saturday, all eyes are going to be on the Joburg Theatre as the superstar, the queen of gospel, Rebecca Malupe, receives the Basadi in Music Awards Lifetime Achievement Honor. And it's a moment to mark 4 decades in the music industry, but also her unwavering impact. She joins us now to talk about her journey and what this award means to her. Dr. Ribs.
Hello, Baba.
Good morning.
Good morning, Baba. And how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Listen.
No, good.
I've been telling people that I remember going all the way back. Was it 1985 or 1986 when you won the Shell Road to Fame?
1987.
Was it 87? See, I'm aging you.
Yes. 1987.
1987. And you started your journey doing pop music.
Yes.
Mina ngizobachela. Ngiyabona bangazi. And of course, at some point you went via the gospel route, and you have done such incredible things. I mean, when you entered that talent show all those years ago, could you have dreamt of the career you have been able to achieve?
Oh, no, not at all. I was just young with my sister looking for greener pastures, in Johannesburg. So young, then we entered the Shell Road to Fame. Of course, we hoped to win, but I think maybe the music that we used that time was not suitable for the competition because we were singing a different type of music. Our compositions, and we're still young. We don't even know how to write a song that time. So then 1985, we won. We didn't win when we entered. Then we won 1987 when I met Sizwe Zako. Sizwe Zako, we came together. We met at the Shell Road to Fame 1985. Then we met together. Then Sizwe wrote a song, a gospel song, Shine on Us, O Lord. Then we won 1987 with that song.
Yeah. And you never looked back as far as gospel is concerned, because that was really your true love, your first love to begin with, right?
Yes, it was my first love because I know where God has brought me from. I just wanted to say thank you. I just wanted to cry my pain out through gospel music. I wanted something that will kill me as well. And then fortunately, gospel has worked a lot in my life, healing me, closing all the little scars that I had, and it really worked. God has made wonders in my life.
Sis Rebecca, I'm sure you have probably at least one room in your house that's full of all the awards you've received in the last 40 years or so. But I imagine, though, this one, the Basadi in Music Lifetime Achievement Award, I imagine this one is going to be a pretty special one.
It is very special because, it's amazing how God work with us. Abantwana bakhe, it's very special. Actually, I'm really humbled. I don't even know how to express how I feel. I thought of writing a speech. I can't even write a speech. What am I going to say? Thank you. I don't know. It's very special, very, very special. I'm busy preparing my dress here. I said, no, I'm not going to.
Yeah, because you're a fashion designer as well now, aren't you?
I'm learning. I'm teaching myself, how to make food. I didn't even go to school. I'm teaching myself on YouTube.
Sure.
So I'm busy making a dress. I wake up very early in the morning trying to come up with this dress. Okay, but I'm okay with it because as long as I made it myself, I'll feel good about it.
So let me ask you this question. Many South Africans say your singing, your voice has carried them through very difficult times. What music carries you in those moments?
Gospel music. Yeah, my songs too. When I go through a lot, I listen to myself. And say to myself, why would I cry this much if I comfort people and they get comforted? I think my music also comforts me as well. I listen to this one particular song and feel better. I say yes, all is well.
Perhaps a naughty question. Can I be naughty? Your given name, and I don't think everybody knows this, is Batsugile Lavderia Malupe. Where did Rebecca come from?
Rebecca is my stage name. Rebecca, during those days, we came into the industry during the apartheid time. And then they couldn't pronounce Batsugile. Mahua couldn't pronounce Batsugile. So they came up with, they said Lavderia was too long. So, can we come up with a name? Can we give you a name? Then I said, okay. And that time I didn't even understand English. Everything to me was, yes.
Listen, yes.
Say Rebecca came then. Rebecca came.
Listen, we are saying yes to everything you've done, to everything you've achieved. Congratulations. Thank you for talking to us. May your star continue to shine. And thank you for the music and for everything you've done for so many around the country all these years.
Thank you so much for talking to me. Thank you, South Africa, for your support. I love you.
We love you too, Mam Rebecca there. But to hear Lavderia, Rebecca Malupe.
Oh, Bongani, I have to comment on Dr. Rebecca Malupe. My goodness, I don't know how to speak Zulu, but I used to sing her songs as a little child, 5 years old, and I used to cry, have tears running up my eyes and sing, I still don't even know what it means, but it used to touch my soul so deeply that I would do the Rebecca in the living room as a child. My gosh, she deserves this.
Oh, man. It's going to be happening on the 1st of August and the 2nd of August, happening at the Johannesburg Theatre. And what a deserving winner.
702 podcasts are on 702.co.za.
That brings us to the end of this edition of 702 Breakfast. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Gauteng Education MEC Matume Chilwane has officially opened the online application system for grades 1 and 8. The department says there are more than Matume Chilwane has officially opened the online application system for grades 1 and